Wiseguyz Show presents Christmas with the Wiseguyz, Friday night, December 3rd, at Lenive's Banquet in Haledon, New Jersey. Live on stage, see Italian singing sensation Biagio, world-renowned magician Rocco Solano, a special appearance by David Torres of Nice and Wild, plus comedian Amish comic, musical guest The Big Ones, and Tommy Elvis Walker, plus a special appearance by Chris Kringle, with music by Blaze Venga, all hosted by The Wiseguyz Show. Seating is limited, come at a first-come, first-served basis at the time of purchase. Christmas with the Wiseguyz includes a buffet dinner with wine, coffee, and desserts. Cash bar is also available. Christmas with the Wiseguyz, plus pictures with Chris Kringle, Friday night, December 3rd, at Lenive's Banquet in Haledon, New Jersey. For tickets, go to Eventbrite, WiseguyzChristmas.com.
All right. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Let me tell you, that Christmas show that you just saw, tickets are almost sold out. I'm telling you, you're not going to be able to get in once we sell out. So contact Annette, the talent coordinator, with the number, or you can go to Wiseguyz Show, Eventbrite.com. And like I said, hopefully we see you there. We're gonna have an amazing night, or maybe some celebrities. But anyhow, welcome to our Wiseguyz Show Thanksgiving special. I am Freddie the Fireman. Sitting next to me, we got Italian singing sensation Biagio.
Ciao, everybody. Ciao.
Right. And now sitting next to me on this side, we got none other than Jumpin' Gennaro.
Azzo.
Right.
Bravo, Miguel.
And sitting next to Biagio, we got Joey Cat in the house.
Giuseppe Gatto.
And sitting on the end of the table, we have one of our in-studio guests, our only in-studio guest. We got Lavari's in the house, recording artist and actor. Well, you having a good time?
Absolutely. Oh, look, I'm with legends.
Well, this is long awaited. We were trying to get you on the show. We were trying to do something nice, and we did. We're going to find out a little bit later, in about a half hour from now. We're going to get to Demond Wilson, a.k.a. Lamont, from the show, famous TV hit series Sanford and Sons.
Oh, my God.
And it's a big hit still today.
One of my
on
favorites.
Reruns and so many spin-offs of that show. I can't even wait to get started, but... let's get back real quick to our Christmas with the Wiseguyz, December 3rd. Be there. It's going to be on Friday between doors open at 6 p.m., and it's going to go all the way to 10:30. We have a big surprise with Santa Claus, how he's going to come in. And it's all going to be at Lenive's Banquet in Haledon, New Jersey.
Do not miss it.
That's right.
This is history in the making.
What do you think?
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. We have so many
Uno,
acts.
due, tre, azzo.
You gotta come.
That's what I think.
A lot of
All my
surprises.
New York friends. I want to see you all there.
New
I
York.
got a lot of New York friends.
New York.
Listen, we're asked to go to a lot of shows over the years. A lot of
Yes.
our friends. If we could be there, we'll be there. Look, this is our first actual Wiseguyz event. And we're doing very well. That's all I could say. I'm going to leave it up to anybody who wants to come in last minute, and I'm going to tell them I can't get you in.
Well, you know what? People are still wondering what this is all about. It's very simple. We have been, fortunate to meet so many wonderful people, including you, Anthony, tonight, and we want to celebrate us. We've been celebrate all of our achievements with family and friends.
What's better than hanging with the wise guys?
That's right. I
For
mean,
Christmas. Are you kidding me?
we bring
just
energy.
that alone.
Energy
that's-
But
everywhere
you charge
we
you
go.
200 a ticket.
That's not the only thing. There's so many wonderful, performances that are going to be there.
It's going to be
tonight.
unreal. The
Dinner
entertainment
at
alone.
Lenive's.
And we try to keep the price down because most of the people, everybody coming, they're our family. We consider them family. And look, we did our Biagio has triple headliner shows. We went a little bit above by adding the magician, and we're doing 4 headliners. I mean, and like I tell you, like to pay these guys, it keeps the price at a difficult situation where you got to try to keep the prices low. And we did our best at $65 per person.
How can you get better
4
than that?
headliners.
Really?
Rocco Solano, world-renowned magician, Italian singing sensation Biagio, and who I believe sometimes at shows he just steals the show. Period. I mean,
Thank
you.
But
No, it's the
You are
truth.
the headliner.
It's the truth. But then we also see
Amish comic.
the Amish comic, who's a headliner, and freestyle legend David Torres, Diamond
Right.
Girl.
David
I mean,
Torres, right.
that's
Diamond
and our good friends, the big ones. You know,
Oh, I
That's
can't
right.
wait to see my man.
And Elvis will be in the house. Tommy Walker, another friend of ours, who's going to come in.
Oh,
And
Chris
then-
Kringle.
Chris Kringle's coming.
Santa Claus.
Technically, a fifth headliner, which is our Chris Kringle, our Santa Claus, who is one of the most famous Santa Clauses on television. You'll see him in the P.C. Richards commercial. You see him on Jimmy Fallon. And I'm telling you, we brought the best as far as the
Who
Santa
knows?
And who else?
He
Who
might
else?
get. He might be bringing
And
a
the
flat
Wiseguyz.
screen TV.
And the Wiseguyz
And the
are
Wiseguyz.
hosting it.
Right.
And his son, let me tell you, DJ Blaze Venga, there's nothing better. And
rock the house,
I'm
yeah.
telling you, he's our engineer,
Yeah,
he's our DJ. He works best with a lot of the entertainers, gets their music right. All entertainers will be needing their music, Rocco including the magician and Blaze Venga.
Oh, I can't wait to see him.
Big show going on.
Yeah.
He amazed me. Here
Video
that night.
screens. We have a
Oh,
whole
you
bunch
ain't
of
seen
stuff
nothing
going
yet.
Oh
on.
my God.
You ain't seen
Oh,
nothing
you
yet.
ain't seen nothing yet, Giuseppe.
Oh my
Gotcha.
God, it was crazy.
So check out our Christmas show. The video we'll play it again when the show's over. But I really want to see you guys there. You will have a good time. We're going to do our best. Hey, look, this is our first one. I think right now it looks pretty good.
What do you
think
think?
it's- I
What
think
do you
it's gonna
think?
be
Should we
a
let
hit.
Anthony do the
gonna
count?
be a hit.
Now, I know you speak Espanol.
You mean
but-
Lavari,
Antonio. But
Lavari.
Yeah, Lavari.
Lavari. You keep saying his name.
Lavari.
Lavari.
Yeah.
Yeah, you say his first name.
Lavati, he's doing.
He doesn't use his first name.
Okay. You don't use your first name. then.
No,
Okay.
stupid Facebook.
Okay.
The whole thing,
Well,
but-
listen.
yeah.
Wait, but how do you know what
Okay.
nationality
Well,
is? Big
listen.
aspect. How do
Well-
you know he's not Italian?
I was gonna say he's Italian tonight for sure.
Oh,
but
but
the name is
I am.
Italian.
he may be
But I
Italian
am
to begin
Italian.
with. You see what I'm
is
saying?
Italian.
Eddie,
See?
Lavari.
he's Italian.
Okay,
I'm
well,
Italian.
We're gonna learn a lot more about you tonight, but we want you to do the count. We're gonna do an Atzo to close off.
That's right.
You know the conversation about our show coming up on the 3rd. We got a lot more to talk about, but how about doing the count? Can you count in Italiano up to 3? All right, listen. Uno,
Hablas español? No.
uno.
Isn't that ironically, right?
Yeah,
Because
uno,
okay,
uno is the same.
Right.
Uno,
right.
not dos. We say due,
Due,
tre.
tre.
Atzo.
That's
Hey,
it.
See?
He's got it.
We'll let you get it.
Go ahead.
You're gonna do it again.
All
Ready?
right.
Do the count.
Uno, due, tre.
But yeah, so that goes on with that. But I want to thank all our sponsors, Rockabella Brands, Rockabella Vodka, Cheryl Lee,
Cheryl.
and Bobby Harley of Garden State, Harley Davidson, Garden State Harley Davidson, Bobby Harley.
You will be seeing us soon.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And Troyanello Cigars. Troyanello Cigars.
Yes.
I asked him the correct pronunciation. He said Troyanello, so I guess I stick with that. Troyanello Cigars. Look, we have 3 beautiful sponsors, and they're going to also. I don't know about the Troyanello Cigars yet, about being at the Christmas show, but I know you mentioned it to Bobby Harley, but I know Rockabella Brands is doing a few signature drinks, 5 signature
Nice.
drinks with the Rockabella vodka.
I'm having one of each then.
And that's right.
And then some.
Yeah, but it's going to be a great night. Our sponsors are there, and look, I'm going to mention it now. I asked him to come in tonight. He offered $200 to the event. Sal Pags from Lena's Restaurant.
Yep.
Thank you, Sal Pags.
Thanks, Sal.
At Lena's
Grazie,
Restaurant.
Salvatore.
He wants to help in any way, and I thought that was very
Yeah,
generous.
he actually called earlier. Yeah.
Awesome. Friday, I just want to mention that we would have had the Troyanello official humidor on the center of the table, but tonight we have the official belt, and in all due respect.
Yeah, well, let's talk about this. This the November 6th. We had our last show, and we had to go to Celebrity Boxing for November 6th. So this is our first show back since. The fights have been over, obviously. Celebrity Boxing, Damon Feldman, Linda Finelli, Jackie Barak.
And what a night it was.
Tina DeVito. I didn't see her there, but listen, we came. We saw and we kicked ass. The Wiseguyz boxing team with Stevie Cat, Joey's son, and my cousin Anthony DePhillips, 2 second-round
Very proud of
knockouts,
them.
and
Wow.
Listen, it was. I thought the fights were great. I really
Yeah?
did. What do you think?
Really?
I mean,
oh my God, I was
So
so excited.
We didn't lose that night, did we?
nothing.
No.
Not one match.
We were winners.
Not
No.
one match.
We're 2 for 2.
Forza.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you,
What?
I got to be honest with you. I'm going to tell you this. Shane Coyle wants to fight under the Wiseguyz boxing team next fight.
Okay.
All right?
I love
So
Shane. I love Shane.
Shane's a
What
good
a
guy.
Shane.
good guy.
Listen, he's part of our family.
He won that
Shane
night, too.
also won. He won
Shane,
the
you're
first
with us
fight.
now.
Absolutely.
Good.
And speaking of Shane, we're not to get to the next show right away, but we do have a confirmed guest for our next Wiseguyz show here, and that is comedian Mike Buschetti from the Howard Stern
he's
Show.
funny.
I mean, we saw him at Johnny P. We had to bring him in, and I'm friends with Mike, and we're also trying to bring in Shane Coyle that night. So I think
That'll
Mike
be a very
Buschetti and
interesting
Shane
night.
Coyle will be
Yeah.
some
Very
night.
interesting
Nice.
night.
That's going to be fantastic.
By the way,
Can you
will
see this, baby? Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lift it up, lift it up.
Absolutely.
This is the belt.
Stevie Cat.
Stevie
And
Cat.
Anthony, look.
Anthony DePhillips.
I tried to put it around me, wouldn't go.
Grazie, grazie, grazie. Uno, due, tre,
Azzo!
Azzo!
So right
That's
now,
it,
the
that's an
Wiseguyz boxing team is undefeated. Technically, 2 fights, 2 second
That's
round
great.
knockouts.
2-0.
Yep, and we're working on. Hey, look, there's a celebrity that fits their size and would like to fight them. Look, it's just it's a lot of fun. Nobody's gonna get hurt because we'll tell our guys to take it easy on you.
I gotta say, they were in top form.
Yes.
And I was
Yeah.
very proud to see
And their
them.
trainer, I don't know
They
their
were-
name.
took
What's
it
the
very
trainer's
seriously.
name?
Nick.
Nicky.
Absolutely.
I forget his last name.
What was his last name?
Well, their trainer. That's
Nicky,
good.
Nicky.
Nicky.
Yeah, Nicky.
But yeah, he
Nicky, you did a
great
hell of a
job.
job for
Hell of
my
a
son.
job,
Thank
yep.
you. Yep.
But they all did. Everybody at the Wiseguyz, all the fighters, Lavari
yeah.
singing the.
Yeah.
They had a lot of performers.
They
there.
did. But I want to give a shout out to Hazel Roche.
Yes,
my,
who also
my
won.
boy, and he won
sir.
also. So like everybody we
Yeah,
root for
we had a
won.
good night. It was a good night.
Exactly. I got to go out there. I mean, yeah, I performed, but I had just as much fun going out, carrying the Puerto Rican flag with everybody because that's my extended family. So for sure,
That was
absolutely
great,
Beautiful.
great. And Hazel actually fought with. He's Puerto Rican, and he
Yes.
fought with Italian shorts on. If you noticed.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did.
He
so-
did.
He
He
did.
fought the Sandman, mind you.
Yeah, he fought
and
the
knocked him
Sandman.
out in the second round.
Yeah.
I think everything was in
The
the second
Sandman
round.
went to sleep.
No, but let me
Yeah,
tell you, I got to
basically.
tell you the truth. A lot of the times with the celebrity boxing, remember, you got to remember, people like comment on the fight and say stupid things. But you got to understand, these guys are not pros.
Right,
And wait, they're not even amateurs. These are guys who never came into the ring before, and maybe they came in once or twice, maybe in the earlier celebrity boxing. But these guys aren't real fighters. They fight for a cause.
Right.
They fight for themselves. They fight for their family, and just for entertainment purposes, they do their best. And again, they do not train, not even for amateur fighters. They can't even give them that level because even amateur fighters have skills. Now, some of these fighters have some skills, but they're not at the level of even an amateur fighter. So you have to take the fights for what they are.
Right.
And I'll tell you the truth, from what I saw that night, I thought all the fights were great.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were well
They were
matched.
great.
They were well matched.
I dare say that this was the most fast paced and well put together one
Yep.
yet.
And on another note, Anthony DePhillips is a triplet, and his brother Nick DePhillips is in a wheelchair. He fell. He was confined to a wheelchair a few years ago, and I tell you, Damon, he came out there. He presented him because look, anybody in a
That was
wheelchair,
beautiful. That was
22 years
beautiful.
old, he's fighting the real fight.
That's right.
And the real fight is to try to get back on his feet. And whether sometimes they say it's not possible, or whether it is or if it isn't. But
Miracles do happen.
Miracles happen, but that's the real fight. And Damon, I tell you, and the whole celebrity boxing crew presented him with a real official WBO championship belt. And I got to say, Damon, you don't realize what you do. Sometimes I'm sure you had a feeling what you were doing, but I mean, to capture the heart of not just the family of Anthony and my family, but everyone else there. I saw everybody was.
I have to say something. You know what? Now that you brought that up, Freddie. You know what? In that moment, it's almost like we were in a church. Here we are, people from all different cultures, people coming together from different places in the country, and making something really special happen. Damon, everybody knows, is a wonderful heart, but he's about bringing people together. And I was this time specifically, I just looked around the room and I said, you know something? Look at all the dynamics happening in one place at one time.
Yeah.
And I think I saw a lot more because, you know, now we had someone that was representing us. But then I'm watching the room and all this diversity, but people, you know what? We got along so beautifully.
Well, like I was saying about the Hazel, that's what the commentary that I was getting. Well, celebrity boxing is definitely my extended family for real, and like especially with Hazel, I had some of the camera guys come up to me after and say, "We saw the brotherhood there. We saw Hazel. We saw James. We saw Josh. We saw you." And they said some
Brotherhood
people,
and sisterhood.
right, and sisterhood, right? Diana Guzman, shout out to her. Linda. They said one of them said that he actually got a tear in his eye just from seeing all of us. Different creeds, etc., together on the
It
stage.
was great.
Yeah,
It was great.
And you know what? You know why? Because we didn't watch or hear someone outside that space telling us the way it is.
Absolutely.
We were reacting off of each other.
Right.
And the truth of the moment.
Yeah.
Not about anything else other than the moment.
Right.
And that's the real deal right there.
And I also want to thank hats off to Black China for taking a picture with Nick DePhillips over by her table. She came over and she was great.
She
and
kicked it, man.
She was
She had
great.
everybody hypnotized.
Talking and hanging out a little bit, and I know she was busy trying to do what she had to do still to get out of there. But again, it was a great time. Stevie Cat, second round knockout. Anthony DePhillips, second round knockout. Woo! And also, I got to say one more thing. Anthony Scala did a great job again with photos, and he's not here
Anthony,
tonight.
thank
He
you
wanted
so
to be
much.
here. But Scala
Antonio.
Photography, let me tell you, he's
always there. Always
moving
comes
up.
through.
He's
Yeah.
Antonio.
But,
When's the next fight?
he told me March.
March.
So he's working on March right now.
Listen.
He's also working on
Dubai?
something. He reached out to me the other day. I don't know if he posted it.
Celebrity
yet.
boxing.
Yeah,
in
MMA,
Dubai.
he
I
did.
saw
He posted
Dubai.
about
I
it.
seen
Bavari, did you see?
Tampa.
Yes.
Miami.
Oh, he's moving it around then, Freddie.
Las Vegas. Yeah,
But also MMA now.
right. MMA.
MMA.
He's also doing now. I don't know if he posted it yet. Damon, I'm sorry if I'm jumping the gun if you posted it yet.
You want to show it to me, and I'll tell you if he posted it.
Celebrity.
Oh yeah.
Celebrity Boxing presents Battle of
yeah.
Recording
Yeah,
Artists.
he mentioned.
Wow.
wanna do this
Look
shit.
at that.
Yeah, well,
I'm gonna fight Pepino
They know they
Zutagil.
give you a microphone.
Got
You
to
gotta
get Biagio in that ring.
I'm gonna fight
Yeah.
Pepino
Kick some friggin'
Zutagil.
ass.
They give you a microphone. You beat each other with the microphone. No.
Oh my God.
No, look right here. The poster. I'm going to show. I'll show the screen if you're watching on the screen. If you're seeing it
So
now.
now recording artists.
Celebrity Boxer presents Battle of Recording Artists. The best. Who's the best performer in the business? Get your chance to perform and show your musical talent on TV and to millions live on the Celebrity Boxing platform.
cool.
That is
Yeah.
nice.
That's right.
Yeah.
So what he's going to do is he's going to get one person to go up and sing with front of the crowd, and then another person to get up and sing in front of the crowd, and they're going to.
And then you're gonna fight.
No.
Let the crowd
Oh, just
decide.
sing?
Who they feel did better.
Oh, okay.
that
Let the
way.
crowd
I
decide.
got
That's
it.
a cool idea.
I thought it was really boxing.
Oh, me too.
Because I remember years ago, I think Billy Idol, they had like guys from the 80s
Yeah.
fighting. Am I right? Going back in the day.
Wow.
Well, they had Aaron Carter in the.
That's
in
right. We
junior.
were there.
Yeah,
if I remember
right, yeah.
Yeah.
We were there.
Shout out to Aaron and his newborn baby boy.
Oh.
Oh, congratulations.
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 He's also a good friend of ours. You know, he kind of like
And Melanie,
his
his wife.
His first time he met us, he right away. If you see the face, he fell in love with us right away. He does anything with us.
We were
Awesome
rooting for him.
people.
We rooted for
Aaron
him.
and Melanie, big shout out to them.
Let's move on. Rocky versus Drago. Rocky 4.
Listen, how was that?
It was good.
I missed
it.
it.
It was
I
good.
missed it.
I mean, we had a little issue with.
I had
the
a film that
connection.
night. Yeah,
No,
I couldn't make it.
We had a
That-
little issue with the connection. The ultimate director's cut, Rocky 4, was Rocky versus Drago. There was a live Q&A from Sly Sloan,
Which was nice.
It was in PA, and
nice.
and then
He was there, right, with Burt Young.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw
And
it.
we sat with Al Bandiero and his wife Marlene in the theater.
Two beautiful
And
people.
let me tell you, to watch a movie with someone who's in the movie,
It's great.
It's just a cool experience that you can never forget. You know, and you know he actually had some speaking parts added, which was great. And I gotta say, at the end, he wanted to keep it private, but I found remember we did the group shot, and I said I can't let everybody leave here because the theater was packed. But we did have a connection problem. But anyhow, it was that theater only. All the other theaters had no problem. But when everybody's leaving, I thought I found a really good fan. I asked him, "Did you
Yes.
really
Yes.
were a big fan of the movie?" Yes. So I was like, "Would you like to take a picture with Al?" Which
wow.
nobody really knew, and he
wow.
was
Must
really
have went
excited,
crazy,
and it was just a moment. Al,
Nice.
I don't think Al, and then he was a little humble about
Well,
it.
I got to tell you, Freddie, the people in front of me were huge fans. They were talking about Rocky 1, Rocky 2, what was happening.
While they're waiting.
But I got to
they're
tell you one thing I'm not going to let out of the bag, but Sylvester Stallone mentioned a lot of things that I had no idea of who was going to play his wife.
Oh yeah, that was.
He
cool.
was naming all these different names. I was like, oh my God, I don't want to ruin it for you because you didn't see it
Yeah,
yet.
it's okay.
Unbelievable.
But we could say the robot scene is out.
Yes.
You don't have to
Talia
worry
Shire
about that.
was on the money.
Talia Shire was-
But
She was
that
on
wasn't
the-
the first choice.
I don't want to hear it. But she was on the money.
I can say this. I can say this commentary. It truly has such a more personal ingredient in it between the characters. Was the ultimate intention was to bring out the characters, the personal relationship between them, and you can see that Sylvester Stallone is at a different place in his life as a director, but also as an artist.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was about the human element. So that pretty much sums it up.
But can
And
you
then-
believe that Rocky 4 was the highest selling
Absolutely.
Rocky, correct? Out of all of them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And the funny
Absolutely.
thing, I mean, we could say this, he wasn't happy with it. That's why he added all these other edits. Am I right?
Yeah.
Well,
That's what he pretty much-
I think.
He said that he wasn't happy with it. He thought he would like things a little bit different, so he chose that
Well,
movie.
the difference is if you
That's
really
weird.
think about it, and what happens all the time is that once you forget about the original intent, which is to tell a story and to show that you're an artist, and then get caught up in the commercial aspect, and that's what happened
what
with
happened.
Rocky IV. It was commercialized.
Wow, unbelievable.
And,
But it was
and-
the
and
highest
fact-
grossing Rocky out
but
of all of
the
them.
fact that he had the footage and then was authorized to re-edit it with all the beautiful footage that he had that was eliminated.
And he kept it.
Because
I'm going to tell you
And he
what
kept
what
it
the
all
whole
these
point
years.
was.
Was that 1985? What was it?
86, I think.
Was it? 1985, 86?
85.
Well, whatever
Sorry.
it was, and he kept all that footage.
Well,
of course,
You would think once they cut, that's it.
yeah,
Get rid of it.
because he even
saved
said
it.
Rocky V, which he wish he could have done. He didn't have it. He couldn't fix.
but it was MGM though. It was. It
But
was
but I want you to know this: the purpose. I don't know if everybody got it. If you watch it, you got to watch it because it is different than there is a lot of different scenes. Like I said, the robot's gone. But if you watch it, you will notice more emotion scenes than like when he was with his son, like when he was in the ring, when he was in the ring with Carl Weathers. Who was Carl Weathers?
Apollo Creed.
And then also scenes with his wife before he left to go to Russia. It was amazing, and I gotta say he made it more of a heartfelt Rocky IV than, like he said, a commercialized movie.
And the other thing was Drago. Originally they made him look like
He was a machine.
the Russian machine.
machine, yeah.
But he even gave him because there was moments that were really special with Drago when he came out, that he was kind of revolting against his own country. It was not in accordance towards the end. That was an interesting twist,
Right.
which was not existent in the original, in the first.
Right.
one.
Yeah, just there was like one little scene of that, and that's it. But he added more. But I do want to thank Al Bandero, Marlene, for having us that
It was
day.
an absolute pleasure.
Yep, and
They are, by the way, just so you know, they are working on a lot of great projects, and they make a magnificent team. So I know everything that's going to come down the
beautiful
the
things,
lane
yeah.
is going to be
Congrats.
great stuff. Auguri. Uno, due,
Hey.
tre, hazzo!
So
That's how we keep us charged.
Oh yeah, no,
That's how
I'm a
you
fan
keep
of
us
this show. Trust.
obviously the other day was Veterans Day. Hope everybody had a Veterans Day. I want
Yes.
to thank everybody. And just so you know, if you want, I did some research, and Demond Wilson was a Vietnam veteran.
Wow, I didn't know
So
that.
you know, if you want to
didn't
mention
know.
that along the way,
Wow.
I did look it
I
up.
don't. I'm gonna.
2 years in Vietnam, and he is, believe it or not, before we get to it, he is a wounded veteran. Wow. He's a wounded veteran.
Wounded warrior.
So you
That
got
I
the,
didn't
do
know.
you get the Purple Heart when you're
Yeah,
wounded?
U.S. Army,
I
1966
I got
to
my own.
1968.
Yeah.
So really 3 years, and then 2 years, 66, 60. So I guess 3 years if you look at it. 4th Infantry, Vietnam, wounded.
Wow.
And yeah, I mean,
Well, it makes sense because if you remember him as an actor, you know, and this is a character, right? He's playing, you know, with his dad on most of the scenes in the show. He always kind of, you know, has that presence of, you know, like a disciplined person, not just as an actor, but and obviously it's in his DNA. But that makes a lot of sense now.
now I want to thank Just Like Nona's Deli in Orange, New Jersey the other day, Tuesday. Special. They had their special. It was called the Wiseguyz So Sandwich.
Oh, really?
Special.
What was in it?
Listen to this,
Here we
Biagio.
go.
Listen to this.
Meatballs topped with prosciutto, fresh mozzarella topped with arugula with homemade chips. So
You know who you are. You better save me one of those. I'm coming
yeah,
for that.
Just like Nona's, they're like
Great
our
people.
family. They are our family.
Great people.
They are at 130 Lincoln Avenue in Orange, New Jersey, and you got to go there. There's specials every day, and
I'm gonna say this, you know, they're definitely a true heart of that city.
Oh.
Yeah. There's in the community for sure.
yeah.
Unbelievable.
And also Francesca Di Gennaro's 50th
Oh, friend.
Howdy.
Cedars in
Happy
Wallington, New
50th
Jersey.
birthday
Wallington,
to you.
right?
I missed
Wallington.
that, too.
Well, they were in Wallington.
Wallington. Cedars in Wallington,
New Jersey.
Lebanese.
They had a belly dancer.
I saw that.
They had the number one DJ in Lebanon.
Yeah, he was.
That's who he was. Yeah,
Yes,
no,
he
I know.
was. It was
It's crazy, but it's true.
Yeah.
But we were joined by Michael's family and Artie Pasquale, Elaine, Al Bandiero was there with his wife, and I even did the hookah. If anybody you guys saw it on the.
Saw the video.
Actually,
We saw it.
I don't want you to think
We
that was pot.
saw
That was the hookah.
it was steam.
How the hell?
You know, everybody
Wait a
saw
minute.
that in Italy and everything. They were
Where did all that smoke come from?
from the hookah?
But what is it?
Yeah,
What-
but how do you-
I don't know what it is.
You
It's
kept blowing
steam.
it. Look like a fucking dragon. you
Yeah,
look.
that's
Yeah.
the hookah.
It's steam.
Well,
That's
you
all
s-
it is.
That's
It's steam.
Yeah, but that-
Steam?
Steam,
It's steam.
And what does it
Steam.
So basically,
Well, I don't know nothing.
I
about
really
I could have
don't
brought
know.
my
Just
clothes.
wondering.
You could have ironed them.
So I'm going to
Steam.
tell you
What's
something.
steam?
When I was about
my
15,
God.
16, and we were going to the city, and I would pass on Bleecker Street, and I'd see those stores.
Right.
I was blown away because you didn't see stores with hookahs in it. You know, now you can see them everywhere. But when, 40 years ago, I'm like, what are these things? Oh, 35 years ago, what are these things?
But I
thought
can't
it was
believe
sprig-
how much smoke came out of
specifically
Freddie's
just for
mouth.
drugs back in the
I took a
day.
big,
I
But
thought
it
you-
was
oh my
originally from the Middle East, and there's different flavorings of different tobaccos.
Oh, that's
Okay,
what it is then.
yeah, is that, and that's pretty
Oh,
much.
it's
I
not,
think
the,
the
it's
one
not
I had-
hashish. It's not the.
Wow, that's what I'm trying to share with
I
you.
don't know.
vapor. It's
This-
like a vapor.
I thought that's what it was.
No,
I don't know either.
no,
to be
no.
honest with you.
You
Yeah,
have,
and you have a couple of those, and then you go on the magic carpet ride and all that shit.
No, that's what everybody thought.
No, it's nicotine.
I don't know.
Nicotine and different flavored cubes.
Oh, it is nicotine. I
There
didn't
is
know it was
nicotine in
Yeah.
there. There is nicotine. Very low.
So it's okay.
But
I didn't even
but
know.
it's a vapor. All you
No wonder
do
why
is
I
roll
wanted
Did you
have a
like it?
cigarette after.
Did
No,
you
what?
like it, Fred?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I mean, I've had it before. We
Oh, you
first
did it
had
before,
I think
okay.
we had it at the place down neck that one time.
yeah.
Remember?
You don't
They
feel.
got
you
it
don't
down
feel
neck
that.
too.
Yeah,
Listen, you know what? We're
Place
gonna
down
make
neck
a
that
wise guys night at that place. Then you'll see
All
what I'm
right.
talking about.
Ooh, I don't know if I could do that.
Well,
I'll
it was
bring a
obviously-
cigar.
It was a
No,
great
it-
night, and
you're gonna be
the
fine.
only complaint I had, everybody there was there. I loved them. Everybody there. I just couldn't talk to them because the music was so loud.
Well, here's one thing I could tell you. This guy mixed Middle Eastern, Greek, Italian,
yeah, it was
Albanian,
fun.
Yeah.
Italian dance.
everything mixed, and it flowed like water. This guy, he was good. He was
And I'm going to
unbelievable.
tell you the truth.
Unbelievable.
I never had that type of food before. I never had what they offered, and it was great. There was the eggplant dip, and then there was the hummus, the real hummus.
Yeah,
not
my
that shit you buy in the
Lebanese
store.
friends go there. They told me the food's fat.
But I want you to know, seriously, all kidding aside, the food, as I ate it, was a 10 plus.
Wow.
And
very
at a
good food.
scale of 1 to 10, it was a 10 plus. But to go to the bathroom at the end of the night was more like a 12 plus. because I'm not used to eating that food. It just hit me
first
like
of
a
all,
brick.
they
Mamma mia.
one of the things I
I
could
thought
tell
I had
you,
to go to the hospital.
the chicken,
I
the
couldn't
beef
eat chicken
on the
either.
shish kebab,
Nice.
they spice it, they let it marinate.
yeah, it's-
This stuff is no joke.
Wow.
And
No,
it's
it was
very high
very, very
quality.
good. I got to be honest with you, but because I'm not used to eating that food, I never had eggplant dip with yogurt.
Baba
or whatever.
ganoush, the
And
Baba ganoush.
It was great. It
That's
was.
good
I
stuff.
loved it. I
Yeah,
loved
smoked
it. But
Baba ganoush.
somehow it hit my stomach. It was like
Bada bing.
boom. And it was like,
Oh my God.
and I was like thinking about going.
Holy
to
shit.
I was calling the ambulance. It was
Do it,
like-
honey. Do it,
Holy
Ralph
shit.
Cramden,
Whoa.
Freddie.
I was
Freddie,
like, I'll never go there again.
Freddie.
I'll never go there again. No.
Freddie, Ralph Cramden honeymooner moment.
Oh my God.
Do a Ralph Cramden to the moon.
Oh man.
Bang zoom, yeah. But you didn't go that way. It went this way.
No, but it was great, and I liked the food, and I got to tell you the truth. I would do it again. It's just
We got to go as a whole group. We won't
just
have fun.
because I ate it already, and I know what to expect.
What was the irony of it was that night, which never really usually happens, because you can go there at night and pay at the door and see the entertainment,
Yeah.
even
Oh,
if you
yeah?
don't eat yet. But that night happened to be 5 or 6 birthday parties.
All in one
So
night.
what was nice, the closing of the night, they did one cake after the other. That was perfect idea. It was a lot of
Oh,
fun.
there we go.
There it is.
Uh-oh.
Man, Freddie.
Hello, who do we have on the line?
Jamon Wilson.
Oh!
Welcome to the Wiseguyz show.
Thank you. Hey.
Demand, I got to tell you the truth. I don't know what came out of nowhere. I said, let me reach out to you. And everyone here is just a huge fan of Sanford and Son, obviously. And we just, all our lives, we kind of grew up with you. And we this is kind of that kind of show where we talk about growing up and things we've done. And nobody better than to have you on. Welcome.
Well, thank you. I'm in the interview season right now. I'm doing like 5 a week.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I have I've got one tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, and then I go to LA on the 9th for a CNN documentary. I was supposed to do one for Time Warner a couple of months ago, and signed the contracts and everything. I do voice stuff. If you see my face, you got to pay. If I'm just doing this, I don't mind, especially you guys. But anyway, the CNN thing, the Time Warner thing, we signed the contract thing, and I was supposed to shoot it in L on a Tuesday. They called me on Sunday afternoon and said, "Have you been vaccinated?" Said something to the effect of lower regions, and they said, "Well, we're going to have to test you." That I have an IQ of 140. So I don't know what test you're going to give me. I said the PCR test. The guy that invented the PCR test, who mysteriously left the planet a month before the lockdown, the shutdown of the world,
Oh, wow.
went on the air and said the PCR test doesn't prove anything. And I put that out to a lot of people. A lot of people got angry with me, and I said, "Well, I sent him the footage of it. The guy saying he invented the PCR test. It has nothing to do with COVID." And then I saw a thing where they tested a grapefruit, and it tested positive. And I said, "Wait
Oh
a
my
minute.
God! See?
Don't go to that vegetable store. Stay away from that.
Oh God!
That vegetable store has COVID." I was at the bank the other day, early in the morning. I went to the Versatel. My gardener was coming in, and I pay him in cash under the table. And he said, "I said, let me go down and get." The day before he was comes on Tuesdays, and so I go down there at 5 a.m. and I'm down there at the Versatel, and there's a worker down there, truck and everything, and he did the Versatel. He leaves, I go up. As I'm leaving, this woman that pulls up in her car. Now, bearing in mind it's 5 a.m. She's in the car, no one else is with her, and she's wearing a mask at 5 a.m. And I said, "Oh shoot, let me get away from here. That car's got COVID." What the heck? I want you guys to know something. My dad's was in New Jersey for I grew up in Harlem. My dad's business was in Cranford, New Jersey. for
Cranford.
30
That's
Wow, right.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
When I
35
first,
years.
when I
He
first,
commuted.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
My dad used to commute from at first on the railroad, Penn Station, and then in later years he would take the bus from Port Authority. He commuted for 35 years.
Wow.
Well, when I first met you, you told me that, and I remembered Linden, but Cranford's right, not that far. I wanted to mention, because I was a Newark fireman, and that's what actually made you bring up the fact that your father was from Cranford, and I always remembered even on the show, the Sanford and Son, you
His business,
what?
he was his business was there.
Okay.
His business.
Oh, his business was there, right? Okay. But you mentioned Newark in the series, in the show, Sanford and Son. You said, "Come on, Dad, let's go to Newark. They got a black mayor there."
Yeah.
And I always, as a kid growing up, we
remember that.
heard you.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
I still remember that. And
Well, I could have said Secaucus. Then no disrespect.
Nobody would have believed that.
Listen. Fox used to mention all the time in the series El Segundo,
yeah,
Yeah.
and El Segundo is the L.A. version of Secaucus.
Oh,
Oh,
it is.
like that.
Okay. All right.
That's funny.
Well, it used to, I don't know what I don't know. Maybe it's gone gentrified. Maybe it's gentrified. I don't know. But Secaucus used to be a place that if you went to Secaucus, people were, why?
it's gotten a little better since, not much. But
So why don't we introduce? You're not just talking just to one or two people. you're talking to our brothers and our sister here in the studio. So we want to introduce ourselves so you're talking to multiple brothers here. Let's start with the.
What is it? Just a family?
Well, we are a family in a
Yep,
sense.
in a sense.
We are in a family in a sense, but go ahead.
Is this live or are you recording?
no, this is recording. This is recording.
This is a recording.
It'll go live tomorrow. It'll broadcast live tomorrow. So if you happen to be online, you can, if you want to chime in and anybody asks any questions, don't think we're live.
That won't be necessary because I'm here and I'm doing it. So,
Right.
That's it. You're live right now.
It's live right now.
Yeah.
Well, we have our in-studio guest. Go ahead and announce your name.
Hey, Zaman. Lavari, it's an honor to share this airtime with you. And also, on behalf of everybody here, we also want to thank you for your service as it was
Yes,
Veterans
absolutely.
Day. So thank you so much for your service. Grateful
look.
to you about that.
And the one that with the big mouth right here, I'm Jumping Gennaro. And then, of course, you've been talking to Freddie the fireman, who's the host here. And right next to him.
Text messages from Freddie the Fireman.
Yes, I was just I just want to, because I didn't usually when I book a guest, I usually have a conversation, but I figured if everything was going well, I just figured I'd just text you and make sure that we were on top of everything. That's all.
Go ahead next to Freddie.
My name is Biagio, and I'm a huge fan.
Thank you. Well,
And then you got Joey Cat next to Biagio, and I never missed an episode, and I still watched them.
Yeah, we do.
You big dummy.
there's one in every group. Thanksgiving dinner because he usually gets drunk and shows his ass.
And then all the way across the room there is our sound engineer. Go ahead. Roberto.
Roberto. Just like Sanford and Son, we got to have a Puerto Rican in the house.
Chico. Who was it? Chico, right?
No, that was the goat.
No. Chico was the GOAT, yeah.
And then of course our talent coordinator who you've been communication with, Annette, who's also Freddie the fireman's wife.
Hi, nice to meet you.
You're not. Just a voice. I could be anybody.
So the only thing you're missing is if you were in the studio, then you would know you were with a bunch of Italians because we would feed you, we give you whatever.
That's in Maron.
That's right.
But I did meet you. You were at Chiller Theater, and I did meet you.
Did you buy anything?
Yes,
Yes, we did.
we bought your book.
Oh, okay.
Your memoir.
We got the pass.
Oh, I saved that. Let me tell you something. There's certain things I make sure I saved, and let me tell you, you don't understand. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that told you they're big fans of the show, but I mean, I'm definitely one of the top ones. And
Well, let me share something with you. I received a residual check this morning from Switzerland, Portugal, Wales, and France. I sell books around the world, and I'm very grateful for the fanship of the people around the world. I've heard that maybe 1 million times in 40 plus years. I mean, it's incredible how something so simple, started out so simple, has made us pop icon.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Oh,
God bless.
As long as pop culture exists, I'll be there.
Yeah, well,
Nice.
I got to tell you,
Amazing.
one thing I take from the show that I think relates to everybody's family, culture, heritage, is the fact that Red Fox, obviously Fred Sanford on the show, always tried to stop you from getting married.
Yeah.
Oh, it kind of reminded me of my mother, as growing up when I was younger. And I think everybody relates to a father not.
Well, yeah, but it could have been because it's family. It could have been a mother and a daughter. It could have been a daughter and a mother and a son. Because it was family time. It wasn't just Fred stopping Lamont. Lamont interfered in Fred's too. He wanted to make the Barracuda. He tried to stop that. He made a debacle out of that. So it was like they relied on each other. Somebody said, you guys didn't make money. You guys were poor, da bop, da bop. And I said, the reason I took that is because I've always believed in entrepreneurialism. And Lamont did not work for in quotes, the man. That's something that Quincy wrote for the theater. It's called Street Beater. And that's what Lamont did. He went out and he secured a living for he and his dad because his dad established that business in 1929. Wow. So it was like incumbent upon kids today, if the father's got the business, the kid doesn't want to have anything to do with it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
But Lamont knew that, his mom died when he was a kid. And so he had his pop and they had each other. And that was the fascination with that series for me because I never wanted to do television. I'm from the Broadway state.
That's right.
I went to California. I went to Canada. I came back from Vietnam in 1960. And I worked on Wall Street for about 8 months. Then I started back in the theater. And I did up in Canada and I went to the New York Shakespeare Theater down in the Village. And I did a series of plays. I did a couple of off-Broadway plays, a Broadway play, and Walter Mirisch, the Mirisch brothers, to see me in a play, and they were casting a movie for Sidney Poitier. He was doing the Gibbs thing.
Wow.
And they said to Mom, you're a jock. And you played basketball and ran track and everything. They said, do you still have any speed? And I said, well, why are you asking me? You're producers. Time producer. What do you know how fast I can run? They took a stopwatch out. He said, where's some speakers to the theater tomorrow? And I did. And Don Medford, Bringing Back Dead Men, who was an action director, was down there. And he said, go. And I ran the block. And when I turned to come back, it was a long block. Nobody was standing. And I thought, okay, well, fine. The next day I went to the theater. Those had the contracts on the table to go into California. Ron O'Neill, the late Ron O'Neill, who did Superfly. The late Raul Julia, who did many, many movies, but Addams Family.
Yep.
And we were in the movie called The Organization, and I played a track from San Jose State, a pole vaulter, which is how I dislocated my shoulder doing take after take.
Wow.
So I got offers to come to California. I never wanted to do television. My agent called me up and says, the producers of all the things, I don't know what it is. He said, it's the #1 TV. I don't watch television. He said, the producers want to talk to you about doing an episode. I said, I don't want to do that. I don't even know what it is. He said, watch it. It's a #1 show. You're new in Cali. You got a reputation from New York, but you could do a lot worse. So I watched it and I said, I don't want to have anything to do with that. I think that character is despicable. I think his wife is not the sharpest tool in the shed. And I said, I understand what they're trying to do, but I don't want to do it. He said, just get the script first. We're going to send you the script in the morning. And I got the script and I saw where my character holds a gun to Archie's head. I said, where do I sign? so that began to think that episode with the late. Notice I'm using all these actors I worked with are no longer with us.
Right.
The late Cleavon Little, who did Blazing Saddles.
Right. Yeah. He just passed recently.
Right.
No. He's been gone a minute.
Oh.
About 5 years.
Okay.
Julio Gregory Sierra died recently.
Right. I'm sorry. That's my fault.
Nathaniel Taylor Rollo died recently.
Right.
I'm the last man standing. It's me, Lynn Hamilton, Donna, who's 92, 93.
Yeah.
And the two cops. One of them lives down here in Palm Springs where I live. He's like 90. So I'm pretty much the last man standing. But they said, they called me up a month later and they said, do you want to do a series with Red Fox?
Wow.
And I said,
Wow.
what are you guys nuts? Put that guy on television. Come on. It's a joke. I said, no. We got a thing from London called Steptoe and Son. We want to do an adaptation, and Norman Lear was hot on the strength of all the family. So I said, you know what? I don't want to do television, but when I came back from Vietnam, I had a habit, a very nasty that I still have today called eating.
Join the club.
Join the club.
So I said, you know what? If I want to continue to eat, so I flew to Vegas. We met Red at 2:00 in the morning in his garage because he was doing a 10 o'clock show and I thought that he was the most irreverent, hysterical, impossible, fascinating, crazy man. And I knew some crazy people from the war. I grew up in Harlem, so I knew some crazy people that I had ever met. And I said, this guy is insane. How dare you try to put me with him, a Broadway actor? I'll do it.
The chemistry is beyond, and I'm going to say this is jumping general again. You touched on something that was very important, and I think at an early age I recognized that, especially on that show, that everybody was very talented, and that you made it extremely believable that and obviously at some point working with someone for so long, it's going to happen. It becomes natural. You really cared about each other. And
well, that's what you need for a series. You got to have, without synergy between lead characters, you got nothing. And when I did the new Odd Couple with Black,
yeah, I remember that.
There was no synergy there. Ron thought the role made him look gay, and everybody went, okay. Really, Ron? Everybody knows. So there was no synergy. He was terrified of me. He was terrified of my talent. He did his TV. He's from the theater in Guthrie Theater in Indianapolis. He's a theater actor, Ron. And he made his television debut on set. And I said something to him backstage, and he never forgave me for that because he's terrified. He's a nervous wreck. And we were doing The Odd Couple. The directors and the producers would say, Ron, you got to get in there and get energy because Damon is going to steal every scene from you. He's stealing every scene from you. And he was terrified. So he just threw the towel in. And he said, I don't do this anymore. So I said, okay, fine. All right. Bye. The same thing with Denise Nicholas. There was no synergy there because, how can I say this delicately? I didn't want to sleep with her. so it became there's people like that. There are men like that, and there are women like that. If they feel you don't feed into their sexuality, and she was a very voluptuous, beautiful woman. But I'm a married guy, and my wife is a beautiful woman. And so Denise was like out in left field someplace because I never made a pass at her. She was accustomed to men falling down and go, "Oh, you're so beautiful. Oh, give me her," and looking in her eye. I never did that. I'm a professional. That's what I came here for. Red and I worked with each other for 6 years, and we never slept together. So it ain't about that.
Was he like a father figure to you off the series?
Who?
Red Fox.
Well, I'll tell you, when it first started, it was mentor student, and then it was father son.
Okay.
And morphed into older brother, younger brother.
Wow.
As equals. And it got to a point where they would ask Red something about the show. One of the questions on the CNN, the clip out, the reason I wrote the book, they would go to Red and they would say, "Fox, we want to do so and so and so and so and so." And he would say, "I got to do it. That's my stuff. Whatever you say you're going to do, that's what we're going to do."
But he wore his heart on his sleeve. You could see that he was, he came from a real place. Yeah.
What am I, top liver? I didn't come from a real place.
I said he wore his heart on his sleeve.
Through Vietnam. Come on. Yeah. Red and I had a lot in common. We had more in common than we didn't. The only difference was that there was a 20-year gap.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Two different generations. But Red was he was very savvy. Yeah. He said to me on the set, he said, after the first year, he said, Demon. He called me Demon. He said, Demon, you're the smartest nigga I ever met. Other than Malcolm X, you're the smartest nigga.
I wanted to ask you real quick before I forget. You said, because I know you were an actor. Your first appearance was at 4 years old. At age 4, is that correct? On your debut.
Boy, that was a hell of a transition from where we were.
No. But
we were 5,000 light years away.
Yeah. No. But I wanted to ask you about this. The one episode. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was cutting you off. No. The episode where you were reading Othello. Did you influence that episode, being that was Broadway, and did you?
No. Aaron Rubin, rest his soul, wanted his wife on the show, Maureen Arthur, who is the Marilyn Monroe of the movie How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. She was with the bosoms and the whole thing. She was the paramour. She was the side piece of what's that old guy, Rudy Valley, in that movie. Rudy Valley was CEO. You guys aren't old enough to know. Google it.
I know the movie now. I'm trying to think of what it was.
Business Without Really Trying. Rudy Valley, Maureen Arthur, Robert Morse, Broadway actor, and a girl, the woman, she walked into Conroy's Flowers and held my head and kissed me in the mouth. She was married to James Ferrantino. I thought, this is strange. James Ferrantino's a nice guy. What if this gets back to him? The movie, he kissed his wife in the mouth. I said, this is not good. But How to Succeed in Business. Go ahead, laugh. You can edit that out. I know what you guys are. Hey, come on. Johnny knows the movie over here. He's a funny guy. You can edit all that out.
I just want.
I'm going to answer your question. He wanted his wife, Maureen. You can Google her too. She's an old gal now. So she was the Marilyn Monroe, and he wanted her on the show. So he came up with the Lamont was taking acting lesson.
Okay.
That's so he could bring. So Richard Pryor was on set that morning because he wrote a few episodes, and the things he was saying, I'm not even going to repeat. 9 o'clock in the morning, Richard had a fifth of Cavassier.
Oh,
A fit the flipple.
Ripple.
No.
No,
Ripple.
Had a
Flip the
fifth
flapple.
of Courvoisier, which is conscious, and some other stuff that was white in color. And he was, I loved Richard when he wasn't on whatever he was on, because he would say, I see you walking around acting mannish. I said, Richard, I went the other way. What am I supposed to walk around like a daffodil? What are you, nuts? This is who I am. I'm from Harlem, brother. I fought it. I'm decorated. A wall here. I got decorations up the wazoo. So we're acting mannish. That's what I am. So that's why he was on that show. That's why we had that episode. I thought it was so that after the fourth season, the man looked like he quit, like he was just walking through. I heard an excerpt the other morning from Will Smith Autobiography. You know, Will Smith that did Young Prince.
Yes.
Fresh Prince. And he said, going into the sixth season, I had the choice, leaving that show, which was getting stupid. The situations were ridiculous. It had become I had the opportunity to stay with that or to do Blockbuster. And he said, I called the cast together, told them, this is ridiculous. I don't want to do this anymore. And that's what happened to me. It's what happened to Clarence Williams III, who grew up with 2 years older than me, God rest his soul. Clarence did Mod Squad. And the situations on 5, 6 years, it gets stale. You bring in new writers and they allowed Red to go off the deep end, and it became a cartoon. So yeah, I didn't want to do it anymore. Plus, I had $1 million contract. The CBS said as soon as they don't want to do this no more, we got you. So I didn't really care about that. What I cared about, when Fox, I was walking down the hall at BC. Red and I always, as partners, we always ran by each other. And Abernathy, who was the anchor at NBC in those days, stopped me in the hall. He said, Damon, how does it feel? I said, how does what feel? He said, it's the end of an era. I said, what are you talking about? He said, you didn't read the trades today? I said, I don't read the trades any day. He said, it's in the headlines, Red is quitting the show. Wow. And so I was offended, not because, I was defended because he was going to put a lot of people out of work, not myself. As I said before, I had a $1 million contract on the table for CBS, which is where I went to do Baby I'm Back. But he never ran it by me. So that was the only wedge in 5 seasons that came between us. I never confronted him about it. I never said anything about it, but it hurt.
Yeah.
It hurt. Yeah. That that's like a man leaves to go to work and comes home and his wife is gone, and there's a note from the lawyer that she's filed divorce.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah. That's a tough one.
Bad feeling, yep.
It hurt me. And as I said before, don't get me wrong, Red and I never crossword in 6 seasons. Never a crossword. Never an argument about women, money, drugs, anything. Never a crossword. So that hurt. And the way I dealt with hurt, when somebody that I love hurts me, I just distance myself because I know what I'm capable of, and I don't want to burn a bridge that I might have to cross, and I don't want to destroy what we had. So I let it go, and I walked away from him. And I only saw him once before he died. Wow, and I was playing tennis in those days. I played eight for 20 years, and then I started playing golf. And I played golf for 25 years. But I was playing tennis at the Malibu Racket Club. It was a celebrity tennis club. Malibu, California. And these producers came to me and said, Damon, you got to give us an introduction to Fox. We want to do his 50th show business anniversaries coming. And we want to put some money on the table for Fox and do his 50th anniversary. We'll do it big time. It took, I said, I have spoken to him. It's now 1982. We went off the air in 77. So I hadn't seen or talked to him almost going on 6 years. My son was in the first grade. So I called down to Vegas and I got Prince Spencer on the phone and Prince said, Red Fox backstage, Red Fox dressing room. I said, Prince, it's Damon. I said, Damon, wow. He said, Red is going to be gassed when he hears this. He said, he's about to come off the stage. I'm going to tell him he's going to be excited. So he comes to the phone. I said, Fox, when are you going to be in L.A. again? He said, I'll be in there on Monday. What do you need? I said, I got some people to give you some money, a ton of money, to do your 50th anniversary. They want to meet with you. Can they come on Monday? He said, you coming with him? I said, yeah. So I told them, I said, Red, not Fred, you're not, if you think Fred was difficult, you're going to talk to Red Fox about money. It's not going to be an easy thing. I'm warning you now. No. We got it. We coming. We got a check for $250,000. Another one if he signs. I said, okay. I brought it. I hadn't seen him in 6 years. He showed his entire arsenal to those people. It was embarrassing to me and embarrassing to them. And he wanted to know, how much money are you getting out of this? I said, Fox, you know me. I don't exploit anyone. That I have love for you. I brought you these people who got this money. All you got to do is say, well, I'm going to do a 50th anniversary, and I don't need this, and you're trying to pimp me. He just went crazy.
Oh, wow.
So I walked away, and then we flipped the script. Another, that was 82, 83. 9 years. And he's sitting on a sidewalk in a T-shirt on a box, and his cars are being taken away, and his furniture is being taken away. And he looked in the camera, and I know that he was talking about me. He said, it seems like somebody would help me. I've done so much for other people. Now, how can you help somebody that don't want no help?
Wow.
These guys put $500,000 on the table, and I saw the anniversary thing that he did, and Red was brilliant. I mean, he was just. They talk about Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy, and if you ever see his stand-up, he was brilliant.
Yeah, no, I watched the stand-up too.
If you pull up a thing on YouTube, he was on the Flip Wilson show. He was standing there on Flip Wilson's office. He had a glass of scotch in his hand.
Yep.
And he says, we were poor in 29 and 30. And all he did was just name dates up to the 60s. And it was the most hysterical thing. I told Fox, I said, I'm going to Vegas. I'm playing the main showroom in Vegas, the Hilton International. That was the big boy off the strip. You had Barbra Streisand, Bill Cosby, Elvis Presley, and I was co-billing with Glenn Campbell. I said, Fox, let the people write you some material, and we go to Vegas, we'll make a ton of money. I'm making a ton. When they didn't want to pay me my salary, that's what I mounted a show. My manager was Nicky Savano, which rhymes with, you finish that. It starts with a B. That's all I'm going to say. Hey, no names. And I called up Nicky and I said, Nicky, they told me if I don't come back to work, they're not going to pay me any more money. I held it down when Fox was gone. Now, they said if I can't do television, I can't do movies. If my house catches on fire and the news team comes and I'm seen on camera, they're going to take everything away from me. What they did not know, and what they did know, was that I started as a dancer. And I don't have a 4-octave range, but I got a mellow enough voice to carry a tune. So I went to Nicky. I called Nicky. I said, Nicky, he said, hey, kid, how you doing? He had Glenn Campbell, Al Martino, Jerry Vale.
Wow.
He had the big boys. That's Vicky, you've been trying to get me to do stage. I used to do Red and I doing hiatus would go out and do shows. I said, Nikki, like they said on Hawaii Five-O, book me. He said, you want to do it, kid? I said, yeah. He said, how long will it take you to mount a show? I said, give me 4 weeks and $50,000. I'll mount a show. I'll do 60 minutes. Glenn do 60 minutes. Whole bill. He said, you got it. So he called up Nikki Hilton and Byron Lane, I think, was talent coordinator at the Hilton in those days. And the Hilton was the biggest room. It sat 3,900. That was Elvis's room.
Wow.
And so I you know, they sent people down there and watched the show, and they said, Red came down. He said, you better pay that nigga. He ain't never got to come back. That was like, that's what Suzanne Summers did.
Yeah.
When the Three's Company didn't pay her.
Yeah, right.
Suzanne Summers has got more money than Creases. She lives about 10 miles north of me in the desert. She's got 1,000 acres.
Wow.
She just had her place on the market for what? $128 million.
Wow.
And you know, Suzanne is Alex Hamill, her husband manager, just merchandised her all over. She had the Thigh Master, she had the health drinks, the Vegas, and she didn't need that. She became 5 times bigger than any of those people. Yeah. John Ritter, the late John Ritter.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah. So they paid me to come back because they said,
I have this jumping Gennaro.
Look at the episode where Lamont dancing.
Which one was that?
Sanford and Son. I thought you were my biggest.
Oh, wait. No. Wait a minute.
He was dancing.
Wait, you were dancing.
Am I talking to the dummies?
No. Wait a minute. I'm trying to think.
I did 2 shows where Lamont
Oh,
danced.
yeah. That was like season.
The one he was performing
I
in
think
the
that
in the
was like
bar.
season
It
5,
was like
though, right?
a little like a lounge, right?
That might have been season
That's the hell
5.
I do.
You did
The lounge scene,
you did
right?
the tap dancing.
Well, there was 2 shows that we did like that, and that's when America saw this kid's got talent.
Yeah.
It goes beyond this because when I came in the business, these kids today, if they're actors, if they don't get work, they're just out of work. When I came in the business as a kid, I took ballet, I took elocution. I hear these kids today, they can't speak. They don't speak. I don't understand what they're saying. What are they saying? I was doing WOR radio commercials when I was 8 years old. Wow. WOR FM.
It's New York, right? Yeah.
I learned, absolutely it's New York. I learned to dance. I learned to sing. I learned elocution. You were cross-trained in those days when you came. I went to the same school, Frankie Lyman, Leslie Uggams, Eddie Holman. We all went to the same school. We were the talent coming up in the 60s that were going to be stars. So it was messing with the wrong kid from hey, keep the show. I'm not going to starve. I got a wife, 2 kids, and another one on the way, and I live in Truesdale Estates. You ain't taking nothing out of my. I got to do television.
So I have a question for you, Mr. Wilson. So I'm not going to ask, obviously, what your favorite episode or favorite scene was, but I would like to know, do you recall any particular scene where it was just so hilarious that you guys had to do take after tape? I know it was taped live, but like maybe something during rehearsal or anything of that nature where it was just, you guys were just nonstop laughing, you know, and then finally you got through it.
I'll tell you, I got it. When you first get a show, the writers are sitting at the table. We would do a show. The way it works is you do the show for the following week, and you iron it out. You read it, and the writers are there. They would say, "I don't like that. I don't like that. Take it out. Gotta find something funnier." But the funny stuff, you laughed at that at the table, and you laughed at it a few times in rehearsal. By the time you started, he was hoping the audience laughed at it. The significance of having a live audience is that you got instant feedback. You didn't, a lot of these shows were film shows, and they put laugh tracks. So you do a movie, who's going to laugh at what, and how they're going to respond to anything until you go to the movies and see it.
Right.
And you hear people in the theater laugh. But if you have a live studio right there, you say something is funny, they laugh. If it ain't funny, they don't laugh. The problem would be actors would come on the show, and Red hated. He would tell actors, if I say something funny, wait for the laugh and the audience to die down before you repeat your words. But actors that are not comedians, that have never done comedic television, all they're concerned with is getting their lines out. So they would walk right into the laugh and say their line, and it didn't make any sense because the audience didn't hear it.
Right.
So the problem with what I did was the audience. They would have to pull it up, but the audience would laugh. Like the courtroom scene where Lamont got the ticket, and he said, why don't you go arrest some white people? He said, I do. He said, where? Look around you. Look at all these niggas in here.
I remember that.
The audience laughed for 5 minutes.
That was great, yeah.
They had to shut it down and then do a retake to start it over again. That's how long it happened.
Oh, my God. I
So,
remember that.
no, you don't laugh at stuff on a shoot day, because by that time, you're just hoping the audience is going to laugh, because you heard it a million times. Right. You rehearse for 4 days, then you do camera blocking and then you shoot it. 2 shows on Friday. The dinner show at 8, at 5, and then the evening show at 8. And then they combine the 2 to make 1.
Wow.
So it's a process. It's a process.
So this is Jumpin' Gennaro. First, I want to ask a question.
Don't go back to 1952 now.
Well, no.
No.
But I have a question, and then I have a comment. I want to share something very special with you. The question is, Aunt Esther.
She was
Now,
LaWanda Page.
LaWanda Page.
She was great.
She is definitely, when she was introduced on the show, she is definitely another amazing dynamic to the show.
She seemed like an amazing.
Well, it's a great character.
Because she was not an actress. It was natural. I mean, the most difficult thing for Red brought all of these old characters from his life when he was out there in the Hinters. He brought them on the show. Bubba was not an actor. Bubba was no vaudeville guy. LaWanda Page was the bronze goddess. She was a fire eater. He brought all those people in there. Grady's lady was the queen of Charleston back in the day. If you look at movies from the 40s.
Yes.
So these people were not actors. And that's what made it. LaWanda would have a hard time remembering her line. But when she did, it was natural. That's what was so funny.
She
the
was
same
great.
thing. Now, Whitman Mayo, who played Grady, which is my dad's name, Grady Wilson, we named the characters after a family. Red's brother was Fred G. Sanford. His name was John Elroy Sanford. My father was Grady Wilson, and Lamont was a kid that ran away with Red and formed a tramp band. So we kept it all in house. But Whitman Mayo, that played Grady, was an actor. He was an actor. He used to be up at the Lafayette, the new Lafayette Theater, and he taught after his career was over. He taught at the university. He taught at Morehouse, one of the universities. Taught acting. So he was an actor. But most of the Gregory Sierra, who played Julio, God rest his soul, was an actor. Nathaniel Taylor was an actor. But the characters, Leroy, Elliott, Bubba, George Rhodes, all those guys they were vaudeville guys. Red brought them along, and they were not actors.
Yeah,
LaWanda was not.
That's interesting. You wouldn't know that, and I'm sure, being a person that studied, in the theater. You know the story about Stanislavski, where he brought people.
Bull manure.
What's that?
Stanislavski method is bull manure.
Well, I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about his method.
Bull shite.
Bullshit.
We're not talking about his method. We're talking about a story about how he brought.
Listen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm going to tell you what I know now. I've got a buddy. When I was on my game, I'm sitting in my office here. I got about 12 trophies off golf trophies. My buddy Javier Silva, the golf pro, and we both came to the same conclusion at the same time. Even though he makes $105 an hour teaching hacks to try to play golf, he said, "Bro, it's BS. That's what it is. It's for guys that don't have the confidence. Everybody's not Tiger. Everybody's not a born impresario. Tiger was a born impresario. You can't teach that. And that's what the Stanislavski method was. Method acting. Brando, I never liked Brando until he did The Godfather. I thought, come on, Marlon, say your lines. We're losing sleep, dude." Right?
Well, actually, my comment my comment was not about the method. It was actually the story of how he pulled in characters, real people, into the scene on the stage, and they struggled because they didn't really quite understand, the way that they were and the way they were conducting themselves, and so it didn't work. But what's interesting is that you're sharing this, that there were ordinary people and it did work. So that was interesting to me. The other thing I wanted to
stop. Let's get back to that. Let's not leave that. I don't want you to have the wrong impression about that. That's my opinion about it. I studied acting. I know the Stanislavski school of method acting that he was teaching. And I told you, I started with the big guys at the top. Brando was a proponent of that method acting, and I never liked anything he did. I did not like anything. I did not like Streetcar Named Desire. He was over the top. He drug his line out. Stella. I didn't like On the Waterfront. It was like, come on. I thought it was a brilliant cast around him on the waterfront, but I never liked Brando until he did The Godfather. I never liked that thing where he was putting butter up his backside with that little girl.
I just saw that movie recently.
I hope you took an air sick bag, which is nope.
But Mr.
It totally changed. It totally changed your thought about a butter roll.
Last Tango in Paris. That's what it was. Last Tango in Paris.
This part that I'm speaking on now.
Yes.
I want you to edit that out.
Oh, okay.
No, we're not.
Your edification. Your ears don't.
Let it ride, baby. Let it ride.
Let it ride.
Mr.
That's
Wilson.
it.
Mr. Wilson.
Because he's a top guy, and people still love Marlon Brando. They say, who does he think he is? Marlon Brando has an Oscar that he didn't show up for. He sent a native girl didn't get it. And the other one was Billy D. Williams, who was a very handsome guy. But Billy, say your line, losing sleep. Yeah, you know. I had when I came back from Vietnam, I was walking down the street, and a guy hollered at me. He said, "Demond Wilson, Barbara Ann Tier, you know who that is?" I said, "Yeah, she was married to Godfrey Cambridge, the comedian actor." He said, "She wants to see you." They started a National Black Theater up in the Loft in Harlem, and they're doing a production of Five on the Black Hand Side, which went to Broadway. I went with it, and then it became a movie that Brock Peters directed. So I go up there, and all of I'd say 90% of that cast became famous. Teresa Merritt did That's My Mama. Jonelle Allen did what's the name, Medicine Man, whatever that series was.
Testing 1, 2.
Ed Bernard was the black guy on the series with Andy Dickinson. So the nucleus of that play, we all became personalities, entities in the business. And Barbara Ann Tears, when we were in it was a series of. It took place in a barbershop, and all of the different characters that came into the barbershop. Me and my friend Eugene were two junkies, and we had business cards. We were Akins, and Poole. We were businessmen, and we came in the barbershop with a. So when we went to Broadway with the play, everybody, because it was a series of small parts with all of these people, big cast, and everybody now on Broadway was stretching their part off. And Barbara Ann called a meeting. She said, you know, when we're up in Harlem, everything was fine. But now you people come down here, you want a showtime. Say your lines and get the hell off the stage.
So, Mr. Wilson, in addition, you know, you had a recurring role on Girlfriends. And, you know, so, you know, that was great. Do you want to tell us about any of your experiences with that? Of working with Tracy and the cast?
Well, no disrespect, because there's a woman listening, but it was a bunch of women, and you know what that can cause, a kerfuffle. You had women in charge on producing it, women starring in it, and I remember the first day I came in, I used to drop bed and sing a photographic memory, and I only have to look at it a couple of times and I know the lines, so I come in. After we sat at the table and read, the next day I knew my lines, and I come in, and I'm not on the script. And I dropped a line, and the script girl was there. I said, "What's that line?" And the director comes, this little Adolphine Hitler type one, who had directed D.L. Smugly on one of those off-channel shows. Well, here on this show, we stay on book. That's what we do here. I said, I don't give a rat's fart what you do here. I'm bigger than everybody in here. This is the way I work. If you don't like it, I can leave. I don't need to be on script, because if I'm on script, I can't be creative.
Right.
And then I called her aside. I said, don't you ever talk to me like that in public. Who do you think you are, woman? You're nobody. Well, I directed D.L. Hughley. I said, only 10 people saw that.
And you were on one of the top 5 syndicated sitcoms of all time. What's her point?
Who do you think you're talking to? Wow. I said, I work the way I work. I'm not hindering anything here. Get the producer down here. So the producer, Cahill, a woman came down. She said, Demond, what's wrong? I said, you put a leash on this little chihuahua.
Hot so.
Had a long weekend. And I went to Newport Beach to Pelican Hill, and I played a round of golf. And I came back down to the deck, and then I went back to the show. And after the holiday, she came over. She said, well, Jamon, how was your holiday weekend? Did you have fun playing golf? I said, somebody chewed your backside out.
So this is
bringing audience to this show. I told some people, they said, what are you doing, Jamon? I said, I'm doing Girlfriends. They said, what is that? I said, it's a television series. They said, is it new? I said, no, it's been on like 900 years. Never heard of it.
Well, here's
on this Blackish, which I've never watched. I don't watch political television.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here's a comment, Jumping General again. I would like to say this before we close off. It's very, very important. Everybody in this room agrees that it was one of the best shows of our time. Of all time. Our time and of all time. Mm-hmm. And I know you've heard that many, many times over. But you need to know this. As a kid growing up, one of my best friends, his name is Anthony Ferraioli. He's now a doctor, a psychologist up in Albany. His father, okay, who could barely speak any English, okay, very little English. He was from Naples, like we're all at this table here, or most of us from Napoli, okay? And I would come in the house, okay, and I would hear him cracking up and laughing like you can't imagine, constantly. And when I walked in the house and I knew he was watching you and Red Fox and the rest of the cast, that show was on, because he would be cracking up. And I would walk there, and I was just entertained watching him cracking up while watching your show. And
Well-
that impression stayed in my mind, and he was the nicest man. Gregorio Ferrioli. Remember that
Okay.
name. Gregorio Ferrioli.
My wife is the one that remembers names. I'm never going to remember. my statement to you is that I've heard what you just said 10,000 times. My grandfather died watching the series. I had a guy in New York. I was in New York City, and the guy said, "Damon, I want you to do a spot. I got 5 businesses. I want you to do a spot. I'm going to put a check on the table, and you write the amount in there to do 30-second spots for me." He said, "You have no idea. I'm from Russia. I learned to speak English watching your series. I love you. I love you. I heard you over the years, and it never gets old." Red said to me, "You're going to be making money from what we're doing now long after I'm gone." And who would have thought that something as simple, like I said to you this morning, I got a residual check from, wait a second. Can you hold on 1 second?
I think you said Switzerland.
Portugal.
Portugal. I sold some books last week to France, and I went to the mailbox. And I went to the postal place that does all of my mail outs, and the lady said to me, "Damon, you had a book in here the other day that's going to France, and it didn't have any address on it." And I said, "Okay, what was the name?" And she said, she gave me the guy's name in French.
Let's call him Francois Bellochois.
Well,
Labrioski.
I can tell you what his name is. You got 5 seconds.
Yeah, sure.
I'll tell you what. Got it right here.
And as we're waiting for that again, as you let us know, Sanford and Son is currently one of the top 5, right?
Is it?
Top 5.
This is a fact now. This isn't an opinion. This is a fact that it's one of the top 5 currently syndicated shows of all time.
Wow, that's good
I
stuff.
want to know how you feel, Mr. Wilson. And when I say Mr. Wilson, please, I'm saying that out of respect. So forgive me, but actually, as a newcomer in the industry, that's just how I speak to people that I have, revere. How does that make you feel to hear that?
Cha-ching. Listen.
Aside from that, for real, like think of all the shows on in the history of television, and to hear this is a fact now. This isn't an opinion. This is a fact. How do you feel hearing that?
I feel special. Wow. I feel like the Lord singled me out at birth. When my mother and father were giving me all of these lessons, and neighbors would say, "Oh, you're wasting your money on that. You're wasting your money. What you spending all that money on that boy for?" And then when I became famous, they said, "Well, we knew he was going to be famous." Here's the kicker.
Oh, my God.
This is a sale that came in on November 1st from an Edouard Mazarin Cherbuquet in Courland, France. Right? He bought my second book, the political book, The New Age Millennium. So I go to the post office, and the lady said, there was no address. How? This is probably going to come back, because when you send off a book overseas, you got to fill out a customs form. And it's very difficult because the lines are like 4 inches long, and you got to put 3 words in there. And this guy's name is Edouard Mazarin Cherbuquet from Courland, France. I Googled Courland, France. Population 2,100. I said, they know who he is. I'm going to leave you with that.
They know who it is, sure.
That's great.
Is that funny?
That's great.
Well,
You can listen. Take a pen down. Write this down.
wait. Hold on.
Kerlouan, France.
L-O-U-N.
No, Kerlouan.
A-N.
29890. You don't even need that. Just look up Turkey, France. Population 2,100. I have a feeling they know where Eduardo lives. And if you look at it, it sits above the water, like it looks like one of the small Italian islands, like Naples. It sits right up on a rock.
Well,
and
my village in Italy has 1,500. 1,500.
Well, see, all I need to put is your last name in it.
Yeah, definitely. Real quick, I want to ask you: are you ever on the East Coast?
Well, yeah, that's why I met you.
Well, listen, we want to. We have a big family over here, and we'd like to, hopefully when you come to the East Coast, you send me a message, meet up.
Go for dinner.
You don't need no security or nothing. When you're with the Wiseguyz, you're good. And we have family restaurants out here that are exquisite.
I told you my manager back in the day was Nick Savano. Nicky Savano, which rhymes with no names.
Yeah,
No names.
No, but we really would like to. You know who we took out to dinner? Remember Dwight Gooden, the pitcher for the Yankees and the Mets? Were you a baseball fan?
Of course he does.
I'm vegan, so you have to take me to a vegan hotel.
That's fine.
No problem.
That's fine. But we would really like for you to look us up when you're in town. We like to meet people that we interview, friends of ours. You're just a legend to us, and at any time you're in the East Coast, you look us up, and we would love to have you for dinner. I don't mean to eat you for dinner.
We're not Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah.
I'll have to meet you there because I need to take you for a ride.
Well, it's one of the restaurants is in Hoboken, right on the waterfront, overlooking New York City.
You missed that.
Oh no,
Yeah,
I did. I'm sorry. What was that?
What did he say?
I said I'll meet you wherever you tell me if I come. I don't want you taking me for a ride.
No. We're the real deal. We're the real deal.
Hey, where are we going? I don't see no houses.
I see the Hudson River, but
Mr.
where's the restaurant?
Mr. Wilson.
I'll send you the info of the restaurant and our messenger and you can look it up yourself. It's an amazing place.
I was kidding, guy. I was kidding.
Yeah.
It's a joke.
It is on the Hudson River.
I said that the other day in the interview. The guy said, "Oh, that's funny." I said, "Tell your face."
Well, I got to thank you so much for giving us this interview, Demond and Mr. Wilson. And I got to tell you, I hope that we meet again and that we can talk more. But at this point, I'm like completely shell shocked that I had the opportunity to interview you this long. All of us are. And I got to be honest with you, I'm so honored to have this moment in my life.
Well, you guys showed me a lot of love. You know, I'm 75 going 45. When I tell people I'm 75, they go, "No, we thought you were like 40." I said, "Just when I worked with Red, I was 2."
Yeah.
I ain't born yet. Come on. Yeah, you made an old guy happy. You get me a lot of love, and I appreciate you guys. I'm going to let you go. If I get back on the East Coast, I'll give you some heads up, okay?
All right.
That's
Thank
great.
you so
Sounds
much.
good.
So much.
Sounds great.
God bless you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Such an honor. Such an honor.
Blessings all around.
Thank
Thank you.
Wow, that was, come on. Let's one more time.
Wow.
Total legend. And
Amazing.
I mean, he was, like you said, he had a high IQ. I mean, he could tell you
Still
everything.
hilarious.
There's a
Just
lot
so
of
you
things
know,
we
let's
didn't know
mention
about him and,
his book, Second Banana. It's a memoir. That's the name of the book, Second Banana, the bittersweet memoirs of the Sanford and Son years. And we bought it when we met him. But
Second Banana.
I'm going to send him the link
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. Blue Eyes.
This is what we do this for.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. This
We didn't know
stuff
that, him
like,
and
wow.
Red Fox were like.
He
Yeah.
spoke about so many different things.
I
Yeah.
told him this is how humble he was and how much we gave him. We told him 10 to 12 minutes.
Oh my God.
And we did a good 45-minute interview, and I had to cut it short because we have LeVar here, and I have to.
But I gotta tell you,
8:30 he called.
for legends,
An hour.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
No, I know. But,
Okay.
but no, we didn't.
It's 9:30.
I know it's probably was an honor to listen to that,
And to actually ask questions.
yeah,
Thank you for
yeah.
allowing me to
Oh,
ask some
yeah,
questions. I
absolutely,
appreciate that.
Absolutely. But let's move on, though. What an honor that was for me, anyway. I mean,
all
I'm-
of us.
my favorite
I-
show.
I just-
I'm going to tell you.
I watched the show
It was
the other
on
night.
my show
I had-
every
I
night.
had to mention Gregorio Ferrioli because he was the nicest man growing up.
Yeah,
I
that's
could tell
great.
you, and he was cracking up.
Yeah.
I mean, cracking up.
You'll never forget
And
that.
I would be watching the show with him.
Yeah.
You know, I'd sit down when I come to visit,
Yeah.
but I was more entertained
I
watching him cracking up
Yeah.
to the show.
My grandfather, my uncles around the
Everybody.
television.
Yeah.
Oh my God, just
Well,
laugh.
Let's move on to our in-studio guest now,
Hey,
Lavari.
Lavari.
Hey, y'all.
Lavari,
What's
happy-
up? I'm finally on the Wiseguyz show. Yay!
Well, obviously, we met you through celebrity boxing.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for my shirt.
Oh.
Do you know how that
When
makes
we
me
go
feel?
home, we got to stop at the house then. 'Cause I had him in the car. I had him in the truck. We have a shirt for you.
All right.
Listen, if I got to take it off,
Ooh,
We'll send it out.
baby.
We'll send it out.
On second thought.
But yes, Lavari, and we did meet you through celebrity boxing.
Yes.
Tina DeVito.
Yes.
She's been
I love you,
telling
Tina.
us we should have you on the show. I agreed at the press conference. I said, let's do this. And we tried to confirm a date. And because of the status with the Mond, I didn't want to confirm something with you and then have him cancel or anything like that. But who thought this night would go on
Wow.
like the
It's
way it
unbelievable.
has?
What a
so
tough
far?
act to follow.
Yeah. And
well, we were concerned that with his schedule, of course, that God forbid he wasn't
Yeah.
able to call in. I said it's going to
Listen,
be destined that he's going to call in.
if we could ever
another-
have dinner with him sometime,
Oh my
great.
God.
What a great guy. What a great guy. What a humble guy. Everything he gave us, all the information he said, it was just amazing.
That was a memoir within itself.
Yeah.
Part 3.
So
I don't
what's-
know. I don't know if you realize, but I think Red Fox was in the room with us.
Yeah,
While he
I
was
felt.
talking.
I was.
I felt his vibes.
Listen, I loved when they were on the. We didn't even mention the Dean Martin roast. Remember when they
Yeah.
did their
He
Dean
was
Martin
on the
roast?
Dean Martin show.
Yeah, and
Boat.
Esther
Yes,
and
Esther
Red
too.
Fox.
Yes.
Well, yeah,
He was on Rowan, Martin, and
Martin,
the
yeah.
Laughing.
Rowan Martin's
Right,
Laughing.
Rowan and Martin,
Martin
yeah.
and Rowan. Tony Orlando doing all that stuff. But,
Yeah.
I would love to hang out.
let's give a little respect to Lavari, and let's start off with Lavari. How's everything going?
Everything is great. Everything's great. Thank you for
And
asking.
now, I noticed you doing horror movies, and is that something you like doing?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up. So here's the deal. Like, horror has always been my favorite genre ever since I was like 8 years old. So, like, to now be working in horror movies with the same people that I watched, like, for example, my favorite horror franchise has always been Friday the 13th. So now I am in a supporting role with Jason from Friday the 13th Part 1, Ari Lehman. Oh, wow. So to do, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
To have a supporting role, playing somebody that as a kid I grew up and collected all the videos and the, the merch. And then Linnea Quigley, Scream Queen. When I was 12, I went to a Fangoria horror convention just for Linnea. Just to see Linnea and for her to autograph a poster for me. And now I'm in 3 films with her, including her directorial debut, and she's one of my best friends. So, yes.
What is it
Dream
that-
come true.
What was the phenomena? I mean, was it that you were, scared, and you're watching it, but you were like,
You know what's funny?
under the covers
Here's the
watching
thing.
it?
So when I was like 5-6 years old, I always would have nightmares, right? And my mother would watch horror movies. I'd hear them in the next room. And then I guess curiosity got the best of me as I got older, and then I just started watching them. Yeah.
So that you were having Alfred Hitchcock moments where you were
Nah.
imagining what was going on in the
No,
other world.
no, but I heard chainsaws and screaming, and you know how the '80s horror movies were. Yeah.
Yeah, I was always a big horror. We try to do a lot of horror consular theater events,
Mm-hmm.
but we got so busy that it's like impossible. We were always doing something, and I'm a different person. Like I'm a nut. If I ever wake up in the middle of a nightmare,
Mm-hmm.
I go to sleep and try to finish it.
Really?
Most people don't want to go back.
What's
to
with
sleep.
the end?
Yeah.
What's gonna
I'm
happen?
like, no, I want to go in there. I'm gonna get 'em. I'm gonna fight to the end. Whatever. But then the horror movies. There's a few things you actually have been working on.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be in 5 upcoming ones, which I'm super excited. So that was my number.
We have a few clips.
Yes.
One of them is upcoming horror. You have 5 coming. Right?
Yes.
One is the barn.
The Barn Part 2. Yes.
The barn part 2. We have a quick 10-second clip. Let's go to that. Let's go real quick.
The Barn Part 2. This year, No one can stop the harvest.
Wow, that was amazing.
Thank you. So that was edited down so you could see my part in the trailer, but the full trailer
No,
is
that
on
was
YouTube.
good. I'm telling you.
But yeah, so Justin Seaman, the director, I was watching The Barn Part 1, and I texted Linnea Quigley, who her and Ari Lehman are the stars of Barn Part 1 and now Barn Part 2, and I texted her, I was like, hey, I just saw The Barn. I was like, oh my God. I was like, it's one of my favorite movies you've done now. I love it, and I love the 80s throwback. And Linnea said, yeah, we're getting ready to work on Part 2. Now, I'm not the type of person where if you say something, I'm not the type of person that goes, oh, can I get on? It's just not me. But I loved it so much that I said, I never asked you this before. Is there a way I could get an audition or send a reel? And it's thanks to her. She got me in contact with the director. The film was already done. He was like, yeah, I may have it. I was like, at this point, I will do an extra role just to be part of this movie. You know what I mean? Even though I hadn't done extra work in years. So anyhow, I sent him my reel, my acting reel, and he got Justin Seaman, and he got back to me, and he said, I'm going to write you in a supporting role, but you're going to have to be available these days if we do. I was like, I don't care. I'm there. I'll do it. So really big ups to Linnea Quigley, Ari Lehman, and Justin Seaman. And then the first day of being on the set, imagine you growing up watching Jason and the Scream Queen, and now you're in the holding area, and it has my name with their names for the holding area. It's just surreal. No matter what I do, that's gonna be my most memorable. I already know. You know what I'm saying? Because that was my first big horror role. Yeah.
Cool. That's cool. I'm looking forward to see some of this. I mean, it's tough to catch up with all the people that done stuff, but I'm a horror buff, so sooner or later I'm sure I'll get to it and let you know. But then there's another one, Terror Tunes.
Terror Tunes Part 4.
That's not a cartoon.
It is. It's half and half.
Oh.
So it's live action cartoon and
Animation?
Joe Castro, Steven Escobar, and this is going to be Part 4. This is actually going to be the final installment. The first one came out 20 years ago. Another one I was super excited to be part of a cult, a cult series. Yeah, it is live action, cartoon, animation, and real acting.
Sounds like your goal is to be, kind of like a horror king. We have the horror queen, Genevieve Rossi.
I'll take Prince. I don't care. Horror Prince, whatever. Yeah, that's cool. Absolutely.
Definitely. Well, as you know, a big fan of our show, and us, we're a fan of is Genevieve Rossi, and she was just.
Do you know Genevieve Rossi?
I don't know her personally, but of course I know who she is.
Well, we had an interviewer just recently, and you have to see it. Her history is pretty amazing.
Yeah,
she's done quite a bit of stuff. You definitely want to connect with her because we, she's like a sister of the show, and she could definitely give you some insight as far as people she's worked with and anything you need to know about horror.
Beautiful.
I think we talked about this. She's kind of like an archive of horror films. So a good resource and again, a sister of the show. Just keep that in mind.
Absolutely, of course. Absolutely, always an honor, yeah. Just like working with, and Linnea made her directorial debut, which we also have a trailer of for Zombie Games. So that's another one coming out. So to be part of her directorial debut, is amazing in itself. That's the other clip that we have there, Zombie
What do you
Games.
think would be
Well, before we get to Zombie Kings, I wanted to get to Thrust. That was another one.
That was so hard.
That was a hard.
I got so sick after that, man.
Really?
We shot in another one that I did with Linnea, director Victor Bonacore, but that was a hard one, man, because I didn't know that was literally one where the script said one thing, and then I got there and there was a whole bunch of action shots that needed to be done, that there was no stand-ins for the action shots. That was the most difficult film I had to do.
You're talking about physical demand?
Physical, and it was called Thrust.
What about,
and I got so sick, like physically. I had a horrible because we shot. It was pouring, thundering.
Cold, I was gonna say.
Oh my God! It was
Weather.
thundering, lightning, and we stopped in between the thundering and lightning, but it was pouring throughout the day, and it was only a one-day shoot for my scenes. And oh my God,
So
it was
that
the
was a
hardest
moment-
one.
that was-
I don't look back fondly on that, but I'm
This was
still
a-
grateful.
This was a moment that you had to appear to be miserable, and you didn't have to do much acting.
Well, no, I did have to do a lot of acting because I played a man dog, so I had to constantly bark dog barking, crawl on real railroad tracks and get stabbed with
a
a
bark.
And I had foaming at the mouth and Alka-Seltzer. Yeah.
Up, 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 up.
Yeah, so I'm grateful to
Call
be
Damon
here.
Feldman and she will have a battle of the barking.
Battle of the barking.
But
Yeah, that was the hardest one I had to do. I hope that one comes out good.
well, you mentioned zombie games too. That's our
Yes.
second clip. Let's go to zombie games and check out that.
Oh, Lavari. He's not. You can't forget him.
There you go.
What are you looking at? Nah. Hi, Lavari. I play Bill Hillman. I'm a douchebag. And yeah, I'm basically a douchebag. I basically think I'm entitled. And basically, I feel like women are beneath me. Well, actually, I feel like everybody's beneath me. But, you know, we'll see what happens. We'll see if I get through these games.
I've touched my face since the corona, so I think I can do it.
Awesome. That was good.
Thank you, man.
Good
Yeah, I
stuff.
play a douchebag in that. Yeah.
Hey, listen.
You got to give him an auto. Come
You
on.
have to stretch my acting
How can you
chops.
be in a horror film and not play a douchebag?
Exactly.
We got to give him at least an auto
Auto
for that one.
yeah.
Uno, due, tre, auto.
All right.
Thank you.
Also, Appetite for Sin.
Appetite for Sin, a lot. That's a vampire.
Which one's your
killer
favorite out of
ladies.
all of them?
Oh, it's always gonna be the Barn 2,
Barn
because
2.
that's the first one. I love them all, but I'm saying that's the first one, and that's the first one that I worked with my horror idols.
Now,
you know what I'm
You
saying?
said you were at Chiller recently. I mean, not
No,
Chiller, HorrorCon.
HorrorCon, representing Nevermore Productions, who did the Barn and the Barn
That's
2.
what I'm saying. Did you have any other actors that were there?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Felicia Rose from Sleepaway Camp.
Okay, cool.
Wow, Jeffrey Weissman from Back to the Future 2 and 3.
Yeah, we
and
know Jeffrey Weissman.
Jeffrey brought
Did
me
you
over
tell him
to.
you knew us?
No, because I didn't know you knew him. I know you guys were. I know you guys went to the previous ones, but I didn't know you know him, or else I would have said. But I can tell him we're friends now.
Jeffrey was on our show. Everything.
Yeah, I'll tell him. I'll message him.
Yeah, definitely cool. Good guy.
For sure. Yeah. He was a very
to the
nice guy.
Future, too.
Yeah, and I got to sit up with. He did a panel.
Yeah.
So we got to hear about all of his experiences. That and Pale Rider, that he was in with Clint Eastwood and the Twilight.
That's right. Oh, I forgot
and
about
Twilight's
that.
on the movie. So just amazing stuff, because you guys got to remember, I'm a fan at the end of the day. Yes, I'm an actor in these movies, but I'm still a fan because I grew up on all these movies.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm still in that
know what?
fan.
I have to
boy
tell you,
thing.
that's when you reached a level things are starting to come your way. Is that when you start, like tonight, we're talking about Lamont from Sanford and Son. When you start connecting with the people that you looked at on a TV screen and you thought, man, it'd be amazing to meet these people.
Yeah.
And you start to meet them.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the best part.
especially again, I know I keep bringing her name up, but Linnea Quigley, like, this was my favorite. It still is my favorite horror film actress of all time.
So you basically met.
She's one of my best friends,
one of your
and now
idols
she's
in
one of my
film.
best friends. And like, just recently I had seen a movie that I hadn't seen before that she was in. I text her, I'm like, can you explain?
That's funny.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I can text
crazy.
her and say, hey,
Say, what's going on?
what in that movie, you Nightmare Sisters, can you explain that part? You know what I'm saying? The fact that I could do that is just amazing. Ari Lehman, who now I just did a music video with him for the soundtrack for The Barn 2. When I was a kid, I was having my parents for my birthday take me to where they filmed Friday the 13th, and now I'm in movies with the original Jason.
Yeah,
Friday.
that's-
It's surreal, and I'm
crazy.
so
It
grateful.
It is weird because we have a little moment with Mike Moran. Right? Mike Moran.
Tony Moran?
Tony Moran.
Not the DJ.
No.
Michael Myers, Tony Moran.
Michael Myers, Tony Moran,
Yes,
with Mike's
that was-
mother at
that was
HorrorCon.
beautiful.
What an amazing!
Yeah.
And you learn things. That was Erin Moran's brother, Erin Moran from Happy Days.
Happy
Happy
Days, right?
days. Yeah.
I never knew that, and the whole time I met him a few times, and I just didn't put it together.
I gotta make you laugh. So, speaking to Tony Moran, at the HorrorCon this weekend, there was an after party, and Felisa in the mic was introducing somebody named Tony, and she was like, well, we're not talking about Tony Moran. And for 5 seconds, I had a duh moment. Remember, we're at a horror convention. But for 5 seconds, I was like, the DJ's here?
Yeah.
Tony Moran's here? Mind you, we were at the horror convention. And it took me 5 seconds to
figure that out.
So
Well,
to
you're
figure
in
out, no, they
music
talk
mode.
about Michael Myers. Right, true. I am recording this too. But like, that was kind of a duh moment, though, because we were at a horror convention.
No, it's
Tony
fine.
Moran, Michael Myers. And I'm like, wait, and I start looking around.
You
He's-
lose it once in a while.
Exactly. Exactly.
We all do it.
Well, that brings us to your music. But before that, I want to ask you: you're doing acting in horror, and then you're also doing music. Is there a love for either one, or is it equal?
No, it's equal. I get that. That's the number one question I get asked the
I
most.
figured that. I kind of sensed that as
But I gotta tell you.
balance.
But I will tell you. For a long time, it was the music. But that's because I was doing music before I was doing supporting roles. Do you know what I'm saying? So for a while, it was
Who is
the
so-
music,
so
but now it's definitely equal.
You've shared, you know, the people that inspired you in the horror film.
Yes.
And I don't know if you've shared in the music. Who was it that inspired you in the music?
Wow, so many people. I mean, I love 80s music, but I love Eurythmics, Annie Lennox.
Oh, wow.
If I had to say my number one vocal inspiration, is definitely Eurythmics as a group and then Annie Lennox solo. If I had to say one, when I was a kid, it was the Bee Gees.
Well, let everybody at home decide.
wow.
Let's let everyone at home decide. We have his album, The Moment of Love. We have is that the name of the song too?
Moment of Love is one of the songs. Oh, speaking of which, that's another big influence on me, La Bouche. And Moment of
yeah.
Love is a remake
He
of
opened
the
up
La
for
Bouche
La
song.
Bouche. He opened
So
up
Lane
for
McRae,
Lane McRae.
this is a remake of one of their ballads called
Oh,
Moment
really?
of Love, but I turned it into a dance song. Ironic, right? La Bouche is a dance group. I take one of their few
You
ballads
did
and
one
turn
of
it
the
into a
ballads, you
dance
turned it
song.
into a dance mix.
But before I released it, because I knew I wanted to title the album Moment of Love, but before I released it, I said, I'm gonna take that chance and I'm gonna ask him if he can hear it. I already got the permission to do it because they weren't the songwriters of it, so I already got the rights to do it. But I really was tense because I was like, we're gonna name it. I'm gonna name the album Moment of Love. It's a La Bouche song. So I got in touch with him, and lo and behold, not only did he listen to it, he personally critiqued it. He loves it.
You
That's a
opened up
good
for
thing.
La Bouche, didn't you?
Yeah. Every
So
resort.
Mr.
Every
McRae,
resort.
Mr. McRae personally critiqued it. He loves the version, and when it came out, he helped promote it. So he's an
that's
amazing person.
And this is the video we're gonna see right
That's
now.
great.
This is a clip from I've made 6 videos from the Moment of Love album. It includes Moment of Love, Plenty, Wonderful, Rescue Me, Automatic, and No Day Like Today.
Okay, cool. Let's check it out right now. Here, check it out.
Little montage.
Does it feel cold, baby? Does it feel hot?
If you love a little boy with your love man, when all the hurt on the silence goes out, you understand.
No way to control it. It's totally automatic whenever you're around. I'm walking by folded, completely automatic. All of my systems are down, 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 down. No way to control it.
Wow, that's great.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
An automatic one for best music video at the Catskill International Film Festival. So I'm
Wow.
very happy about
Wow.
that. But yeah, Mr. McRae
That
is
was
amazing.
that went number 2 on iTunes dance chart, right?
Yes.
Number
It-
1.
it was-
and number 1 on iTunes
Canada.
pop chart. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
for a day. Well, iTunes changes their charts every day.
What made you choose that song? If you don't mind me asking.
Moment of Love. I'm
Yeah.
glad you asked. When I moved out on my own when I was 20 years old, and I was working at a record store at the time. I moved to the Lower East Side, and I was really broke because I was supposed to be moving in with somebody, and they decided the day that we were supposed to move in together that they didn't want to move in. So now I had to work 2 jobs. The purpose of me moving out was to work on my demo in Manhattan. And remember, this is back, you know what I'm saying, like 2000, whatever. So I had, it's not like now where you could just go record everything online or whatever. So I moved to the Lower East Side from Queens. I'm originally from Queens. A lot of people think I'm from Jersey because I've lived in New Jersey for like 15 years now, but I'm originally from Queens, New York.
Newark. You're from Newark.
Newark. I love Newark. But see, you know what's funny? But if you had to say what's my home in my heart, it's always Newark.
Oh, it's Newark.
For real.
Oh, really?
Newark.
Oh,
For
yeah.
Newark.
Oh,
Newark.
wow.
Newark.
Oh, okay.
Newark. I had to teach a Philadelphian how to say it like that.
Newark,
exactly.
right.
So
down neck.
The reason that I chose that is because at that time I was like basically broke, working 2 jobs, and one of the places that I worked for was a record store, and when
Not
you had
Melody Records now. That was old.
no, it was a chain, and I'd rather not
Melody
name the
Records
chain.
is an old
But
record store.
it was in Manhattan, and it was a chain, and they when they had the
Tower
listeners
Records.
playlist. No, I'm not gonna say it, but it wasn't Tower Records. But they had the LaBouche CD, SOS it was called, and I loved the entire CD more so than their first CD, which is great. But they would play. My manager played it over and over. This CD, and Moment of Love stuck out to me probably because it was a happy song, and at the time I was so miserable and hurt and going through it, and this song kind of brought me comfort. And I said I'm gonna remake that song one day.
How long did it take before once you heard it when you actually did the remix?
Oh my God, 20 years later.
Wow.
Because I never.
So that was always in the back of your head.
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah, because this
had to
was
do
an
it.
album of remakes.
You had
I've
to
never
do it.
done. I've had done 1 or 2 remakes and put them on each album, but this album was an entire album remix, with the exception of No Day Like Today.
Wow, that's great.
And so yeah, when I did it, and again, another dream come true, because I'm sitting there and I'm getting to ask Lane McRae, who you opened for at Resorts, all these questions again. These are people I idolize and still idolize. And I got to ask him about tracks and what was he thinking. And the great thing about it is, sometimes they say don't meet your idols, you will be severely disappointed. That has only happened to me once.
That's happened to me.
That's only happened to me once, so I'm very happy
If I
about that.
remember who there was one.
But the great thing about Lane McRae is kind of everything that I thought that the songs were about were basically what they were about. So isn't that great that what you can relate to, it actually was about what that was. So big shout out.
That's great.
To Mr.
That's
McRae.
awesome.
You know that they're amazing. You opened.
Oh
for
yeah,
them.
yeah. Good people.
God bless Melanie. She's one of my favorite vocalists of all time. God bless her. Rest in peace,
Now,
Melanie.
let's being that we're from New Jersey.
Yes.
You did something with the Real New Jersey Housewives of New Jersey.
Real Housewives of New Jersey.
It's
yes,
a
sir.
single called "No Day Like Today."
Yes.
You want to see it first? Or
Was
explain
it
it
on
or-
the show?
Well, I guess I'll talk about it first. That way
All right.
they'll understand
Yeah,
what's
go
going
ahead,
on. So
go ahead. Well, and then while we're talking,
that's
we'll
such a
jump right
special.
into it. We have a
such
little
special
clip of that
song.
too. Just stay tuned.
Such a special song to me for several reasons. Number one reason that is so special to me is because my number one dream in life, in my entire life growing up and up until when it happened, was to be on the Billboard chart. Yeah. You go back to old interviews of me, or just even old Facebook or MySpace logs saying I want to be on Billboard. I want to be on Billboard. My number one dream in life. No Day Like Today is my number. No Day Like Today was my first Billboard charting single. Thank you so much. That's the number one reason why it's special to me. But the other reasons why it's equally special is because it's a duet that was written by my great friend Adam Barta, a great recording artist in his own right and reality star. So he wrote the song. And it's produced by Electropoint, who is he just got. His soundtrack just got nominated for something, got nominated for the Emmys or something, but I don't want to get it wrong. But Roman Molino done, shout out to him. So that it's special for that reason, but also special because Dolores Catania, Margaret Josephs, and March Sr. of The Real Housewives of New Jersey are in the music video.
Oh, they are in the video.
They are in the music video, as is RuPaul Drag Race's Honey Davenport and Lady Clover Honey. And
who's in the clip we're about to see?
All of them.
Oh, okay. Come
Doing
on.
a quick clip.
Let's
I got
check
montage with all
it
of them.
out. Seriously, let's check it out.
Let's choose the road, the one not before us. Wherever life may take us, we know the.
Wow, that's great.
Thank you so much.
Let me tell you, you're a hustler. I gotta say, you
Oh
move
yes,
around.
I am.
You
I
do
give myself credit for that. I just
horror movies. It's unbelievable, and even celebrity boxing. You find time to get yourself over there.
Much love to Damon and
Damon is
Linda and
unbelievable.
everybody and all that. Yeah, he especially the one that I'm
What
proud
about
of.
the guy that
though.
makes the posters for Damon, huh?
Who is it? Is that you? Wait, but okay. Which
See
I
how
always thank
fast I
for
am,
his
too?
stuff for real. His stuff is no. But I've said this too. This is I love for real. It's like basically. I even told him who made this. This is great.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
Freddie.
sometimes you do. It's not mine. Damon has another poster guy, but
No,
see,
you both
like,
are great.
for
But
the
you're
show-
like there within
Yeah.
5 minutes. Oh,
Yeah.
Damon. Especially the one that was pay-per-view because I had been a last-minute addition.
Yeah, yeah.
And Damien's like, oh, you know, I don't know because Freddie made it. I was like, is it okay if I hit Freddie up? And then literally within 5 minutes, you had me added to the poster and it made it to the pay-per-view.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, Freddie, wait. Can I say something? Guess who's texting me right now?
Who?
Hello, Lavari and you guys. The show in Jersey is a blast and always was. And then he writes, it's a brilliant show. I got to come back on the show. Jeffrey Weissman.
Oh my God! See?
How did that? I text him.
Oh.
And say you on
I was
our
like,
show.
how the
He's
heck?
like, I remember you guys. So he would love to come back on our show.
There you go.
Look at that.
And,
but can we say, I got to tell you too, because Jeffrey came up to me at the HorrorCon. Because like I said, I'll be, listen, I still consider, not to the music, but to the acting, I still consider myself new to the game. Yes, I've been doing the acting for almost 15 years, but like I said, now, by the grace of God, I'm getting supporting roles now. It took me a long time to get it. So I still consider myself new to the acting game, so I basically keep the head down low. I got confidence, but I'm saying, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to be all bravado.
You still always got to keep your feet on the
right.
ground.
Right. So he came up to me at the con, at the after party, I guess because he had seen me, commiserating with some people that recognized me, and he was like, "Hey," he was like, "Why don't you join us in the VIP section?" You know what I'm saying? So that was thanks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Cool.
And I was like, yeah. So
I
like,
was like, how did he know?
yeah,
we
you don't
were-
gotta tell me twice.
No, that's good.
but seriously, and so down to earth, and his panel was great. Wow. And like Mr. Wilson, just the stories that he told us. Big shout out to him.
I want to ask before I forget.
Yeah.
How do we find Lavari, his music, and any websites, anything that you want to mention?
Where do you perform? Where are you performing coming up?
I just got done doing a obviously with COVID happened, it limited a lot of things, but I was promoting the Moment of Love album, which came out ironically a few weeks before the shutdown. But I did get to do New York Fashion Week for the first time in 2020, which I was happy about. And I used Celebrity Boxing too to promote the album as well, and I had done a few dates in other states. Right now, it's the films that are coming up. That my actual last music performance was Celebrity Boxing for 2021. Anyway,
Yeah.
What before I forget, when was the first encounter of you and Damon with Celebrity Boxing?
Okay, so the first encounter. Oh, by the way, the social media, everything is Lavari, Lovari. Instagram is Lavari _. My first encounter with Damon was, again, back to the magical No Day Like Today. And again, Adam Barta, who is, here's one thing that I always feel. Always want to give people their props, because so many times people help people and they don't forget. And Adam goes, you don't have to always thank me. Yes, I do. Because
I believe
you
that
are
200%.
He's doing stuff for his career, and he's taking the time out with no ill intention to help me with my dreams. So again, Adam Barta is how I had the segue with Mr. Feldman, because Adam hit me up when we were promoting No Day Like Today. This was the end of 2019. And he was like, hey, Lavari, I'm doing this thing called Celebrity Boxing. I said, oh, I remember that. I used to be an extra in the audience of that, like 10 years ago. He's like, yeah, well, I'm performing at it. Do you want to do it? But, you would have to come yourself. I'm like, I'm there. So that's how it happened. Cool. Thanks to and Tam Mom. So it was Adam Barta that introduced me, and then Adam Barta and Tam Mom did a song. Shout out to Tam Mom, Patricia. And then I kept a relationship, because obviously Damon's on the East Coast. I'm on the East Coast. Yeah,
Well,
that's how.
what I
we
mean
met.
about you being a hustler and getting around, and you were also a contestant on Match Game
Yes.
with Alec Baldwin, and he won. He won.
I won, and let me tell you, I used to be an extra on shoot, I forgot the name of the show. Because like Damon, I don't really watch TV.
Right.
But I used to be an extra on one of Alex's shows.
Oh, on Alex shows.
But that's not how I got Match Game. But ironically,
Wow.
I was an extra enough where when I went on the Match Game, he was like, "Why do you look familiar?" And I said, "Because I used to be an extra on."
Oh, wow.
And he was like, "Oh, Dirty Rock with
Dirty Rock.
Yeah, and he was, that's how I recognize. Yeah, I won. But it's funny because I knew, I was like, yo, when I get on this, I'm gonna win. And not only did I know I was gonna win, I'm talking about like psychic vibe. Nobody told me it's real. But I knew I was gonna win, and I knew the amount I was gonna win. How crazy is that? And it was a low amount to the dollar.
Wow.
What number's coming out tomorrow night?
5,000. I can't control it.
Can't do that.
No, it's funny though. All things will pop into my head, and then it'll be like people like I'll have talked about somebody, Linnea Quigley, for example. Somebody said her name and she texted me. Then something about LaBouche had happened, and Lane had left a comment when somebody was talking about LaBouche. Like I can't control it.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, I'm going to tell you something you have in common with Lamont tonight, and I don't know if anyone else recognized this, but a few times right now you were trying to remember something. You went like this. You were going like this. Well, I don't know if you heard it in the interview with Lamont, but he was talking, and once in a while I was talking, and he was like, "Oh, I was that," you know.
Yeah. You can hear him sniping.
Yeah,
I heard.
That's what I said. And I just picked that up right now. You guys have been doing that all night. Yeah,
but let me continue though. Now he's got you're on an upcoming episode on Jerry Springer.
Yeah.
Judge Springer.
Judge Jerry. Yeah.
Judge Jerry Springer.
Who'd have thunk it?
Oh, that was
and it's
some
Lavari.
kind of lawsuit, obviously.
Yeah, Lavari.
Lavari
Can we talk about it or no?
Yeah, I can talk about it.
It's not on yet, right?
It's not on yet. It airs May 5th.
May 5th.
May 5th is the air date.
It's
during May
it's all
sweeps.
recorded already, did it?
Yeah.
Oh.
So we're not gonna talk about the outcome, but
They give you the okay.
I want to
Lavari
give a shout out
versus Lady Clover Honey.
Lavari versus Lady Clover Honey. Shout out to Britt, and shout out to Reese, and again shout out to Adam Barta, who just did an episode with Tam Mom, which aired last week. And these are all on YouTube and also on the CW websites.
Now,
But
do you
anyway,
have an agent finding you these things, or you just do it yourself?
absolutely.
Agent?
Would you like me to say their name? Is it okay if I say
Oh,
my
you can
agent's
say
name?
whatever. Absolutely.
Shout out to me, myself, and I.
Oh, there you go.
All three.
Well, that's
I have three.
But all the things
Nobody
you do,
better
you
than
would
yourself.
think, you know.
Exactly.
like-
Better than yourself.
And that's what, and a lot of people do. So that's why I say I'm a very humble person, but I do give myself props to that because I'm getting on platforms that a lot of people wouldn't be able to get on unless they had an agent, you know.
That's
and
right.
I chalked that up to always putting my thinking of myself as the third person. Try not to take things too personally, and also English and spelling and grammar has
There you
always
go.
been my best topic in school. But the Judge Jerry thing, yeah, that's going to air May 5th. And Lady Clover Honey, who is a dear friend of mine, she has a
wait to see
YouTube
that.
show.
Was that this? No, Damon
Drag
was-
queen? She's a drag queen.
Damon was on Judge.
Damon? No, I believe Damon was. No, he was on some.
He was on like Judge Judy or something.
Yeah. But Damon has been on one of the court shows too, because him and I were discussing because I had to get the rights for the celebrity boxing clip to clear because they showed that on the Judge Jerry show. But basically, I was on a YouTube show, and I told Lady Clover Honey, who is a dear friend of mine, shout out to Lady Clover Honey, she's in my Know What You Like Today music video, but the lighting was horrible, and as we were filming this show, okay, Italian, right? Okay, Italian and Latino, and we get the circles, right? So I know these things. I know what I have, skin tones, etc., right? So like, I was like, I get the black under my eyes. I can put on so much foundation. Go, no, you looks fine. But I'm like, are you sure? Anyway, the episode airs. You see the black under my eyes and all that. And I don't want to look. I look like that, but you don't want to look like that. So I sued for defamation.
Oh, nice.
Suing for defamation because this was an agreement. So of course, we're not going to say how
That's
it turned
cool.
out, but it was a fun experience. It was a very
that's
fun
good.
experience, but it was real. It was real.
Nice. Come on.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, and now, are we looking forward to anything, any surprises, or just we're just moving forward? And just you have anything to mention that you're working on?
I mean, talks to do some more horror films, which I'm excited about. I didn't say that. I really said as far as making an album, I was like, I'm not right now. The album came out and everything. It was my highest charting album, so I'm really happy about that. But I was like, I'm really focusing on the acting now. But you know how those things happen. We're saying, no, okay, now, which of course I always want to keep doing music, but I'm saying at this point in time, I was like, I want to solidify to try to get more roles, more acting roles. But as luck would have it, you meet a few people, So, I mean, infancy stages of possibly recording another album sooner rather than later. But if not an album, I will definitely be doing at least 2 collaborations.
Nice.
Collaborations that are in the infancy stages.
Well, I got to tell you, this has been an amazing show. I'm glad we had you. Again,
Honored.
Lavari, where to find you?
Sure. Instagram is Lavari _ LOVARI _ and Facebook.com/Lavari official. And on media, I'm on Music Choice. My music videos are on the Music Choice channel. MTV has a few of my music videos in syndication, and yeah.
All right.
Oh, and obviously the iTunes and
iTunes,
Spotify
right.
and all that.
Another note, lavori means to work hard. So
Right, it's from Gypsy origin.
Well,
right?
I got to tell you,
Romani, yeah.
We at first, I mean, Al Bandero, if you're watching now, you're gonna kill me. I didn't think we were gonna do this show. I didn't have a full. If I knew how smart Damon Wilson was, I didn't know until tonight how smart he really was. I didn't. He probably from the first time I connected with him. He had it already locked in that we were doing the show. Either he was messing with me or just trying to
who knows,
scare me.
right? At this
but
point.
because being that intelligent, you probably had that power to do that. So I now understand that this has been one of the best shows of the year so far because we went and got a guy out of nowhere, Damon Wilson, who was a television legend and a veteran, a Vietnam veteran on top of it that I didn't even know about. And we discussed stuff that most people just would never have even imagined. You know?
Eventually, it becomes a spiritual journey where we are trying to do great things, and then eventually things start to flow a lot easier for us.
If there's anything I'm thankful for Thanksgiving, I'm thankful for this show, for what we've done. Now, like we're not celebrities. I mean we're
Speak
people
for
who.
yourselves.
Well,
Yes, you are.
No, I'm just saying.
They're Wiseguyz
No.
show celebrity. They're being humble. I have to interrupt. I know it's your show, but everybody friggin' knows who you are. Look at the freaking Jeffrey Wiseman just friggin' texted.
Yeah. No.
They know Annette.
What I'm saying
Hello,
is
Wiseguyz.
the
Annette.
original
They all know.
Wiseguyz show started with celebrities straight off the bat. We built ourselves up to where we are. And I'm saying we all have
People are
individual-
recognized.
We all
when
have
we
our
make
individual.
appearances,
Joey's
yes.
an actor. Biagio's a performer, and Mike's a diesel mechanic. No, Mike's one of the best Ferrari, Alfa Romeo,
And a good national
Fiat
anthem
mechanics in the world.
Actor,
And
singer,
singer, and so
father,
we have our own
husband.
Yeah, we have our own talents,
Son.
Son.
But we just we're thankful for all the celebrities that we've interviewed, all the people we've met, all the things we've done, all the charities we've backed, and I just want you to know, sooner or later, that we'll reach that higher level. We're there. We're just. I think COVID kind of put a little damper on us, but we're moving forward, and we're doing our Christmas show. We're doing a Valentine's show. Starlight Productions, and we're all together, though. Let's face it. And I just got to say, from the bottom of my heart, if there's anything I'm thankful for, is to have this moment today and every other day that we do anything with the Wiseguyz show. For me, interviewing a guy like Lavari and then Damon Wilson all on the same show, it just makes makes it all come to reality, and I go home as thankful as I could be. So I'm thankful for that this Thanksgiving, for the Wiseguyz family, and that's all I could say.
Thankful for every day, every single day.
Well, I'm thankful for you for also as a fireman, as a hero, and for all of you individually. But like seriously, always somebody like that, and then you guys are so friggin' humble. Oh, I'm just doing my job. No, I mean that is, every service person, every officer, every fire people. You guys put yourselves on the line. I know you're retired, but you were a fireman. So I just sitting here with heroes like yourselves, just sitting here, I am a fan. I don't care what you say about y'all saying you're not famous. I know y'all are famous, so I'm honored to be on the show, to even be on that flyer with that TV legend. I'm so thankful, so thank you guys.
Thank you so much, Lavari. Thank you, Damon Wilson. Thank you for the opportunity. Anybody else? We're low on battery, so let's
Happy
wish
Thanksgiving to
happy
everybody.
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
An OXO. Let's do an
And make
OXO.
sure you come up December 3rd because we're all going to be there.
Yeah, December 3rd. You'll see the video right after this ends. But on the count of 3, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We love you all. Have a blessed Thanksgiving.
1, 2, 3.
OXO!
The Wiseguyz Show presents Christmas with the Wiseguyz, Friday night, December 3rd, at Lenny's Banquet in Haledon, New Jersey. Live on stage, see Italian singing sensation Biagio, world-renowned magician Rocco Solano, a special appearance by David Torres of Nice and Wild, plus comedian Amish comic, musical guests, the big ones, and Tommy Elvis Walker. Plus a special appearance by Kris Kringle, with music by Blaze Venga. All hosted by The Wiseguyz Show. Seating is limited, come at a first-come, first-served basis at the time of purchase. Christmas with The Wiseguyz includes a buffet dinner with wine, coffee, and desserts. Cash bar is also available. Christmas with The Wiseguyz, plus pictures with Kris Kringle. Friday night, December 3rd, at Lenny's Banquet in Haledon, New Jersey. For tickets, go to Eventbrite, WiseguyzChristmas.com. Let's go! Whoa, whoa,
I'll catch up with you one of these days, wise guy, and when I do, pow!